Hey, Tom.
Hey, Curtis.
Do you need a beer, bud?
Yeah, I do, buddy.
There you go.
Nice. Time to power up.
Let's do a podcast.
Let's do it.
And welcome back to the Great Canadian Hosers.
And Tom. And Curtis. Ah, no.
Me too. You me too, me man. Back already. I feel like we just did an episode the other day.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, but unfortunately,
But through the magic of television, ladies and gentlemen.
No, actually, the episode 2 will be posted tomorrow in our time, but in podcast world, I won't get into it. But this is actually, this is phase 3, part 1 of the Marvel quick and dirty movie reviews by the Great Canadian Hosers and our guest, Adam. Okay, what? Phase 3, part 1? God,
Phase 3.
Is this thing ever going to end?
No.
Well, Adam had the
There's
great
a movie
idea.
called Endgame, but we're not there yet.
And hate to tell you, but it doesn't end. It's the never-ending story.
It's endless. Okay, so we'll have to do part 2 of phase 3 at another time just because there's so many goddamn movies.
There's 11 movies in
and
phase
they're all
3.
over 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And they're not
Nobody
even
does 90
that
minute movies
good.
anymore.
What's that, an hour and a half?
Yeah. So yeah, phase 3, part 1. This time it's personal. So there's 6. We divided it into 2 groups. We divided it 6 and 5, but the 5 movie portion includes 2 movies that are over 3 hours. So
What?
yeah, both parts of Infinity War are over 3 hours long.
I was just watching Captain America the Turd, or otherwise known as Civil War, and that's a 2-hour, 47-minute movie.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd be able to watch the thing before coming over here, from work to movie to the Hosers, and I couldn't finish the whole dang thing. But, that being said, I was able to make some notes and some jokes, and here we are, and, you guys will have to fill me in on the rest of the film. What are the films that we are going to be reviewing today?
Do we really want to set the whole list out there?
I would like to.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, totally.
So
Fucking list it up.
all right, so we start with Captain America: Civil War, which kicked off phase 3. So it's like, Avengers 2.1 or Iron Man 3.2 or however you want to look at it, because it is mostly an Avengers film.
So confusing.
More than a Captain America film.
And a Black Panther movie.
Yeah. And then we get Doctor Strange, followed by Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Spider-Man: Homecoming. He makes his return. Yay. Like officially. I guess
like
he's
the
in Civil War.
relaunch
But
of the Spider-Man
yeah,
franchise.
Spider-Man reboot number 2.
it's the third
Followed by
reboot, isn't
Thor. No, this is the second reboot because
okay.
Sony did 2 different
We'll have to
versions,
talk about
right?
that later.
Yeah. Then there's Thor Ragnarok, and the movie we're finishing on in this episode is Black Panther, which we're gonna have some hot takes on that one. So
I'm a little fucking half and half on that one. I just watched it and welcome to Wakanda. Come on.
we'll get there. Wakanda forever.
I'll
We'll
get
get
some hot pockets for the hot takes.
Hot takes. All right. Captain America: Civil War. Curtis, let's start with you because we kind of already got a preview of your opinion. I want go into depth. I want to hear your opinion on this.
Okay, so we mentioned earlier that these movies are very long, and I had a small amount of time, 2 hours. Actually, that's a pretty good amount of time.
That's normal movie time.
After getting home from work, and then before coming here to do the podcast, I thought I can get one more film in because I haven't watched all these movies.
Right.
I'm starting to watch it, and I have watched this. Like I've said in the recent episodes, is that we've watched actually a lot of these films before, and we just forgot that we did. This is one of
some are
those
very
movies,
forgetful, man.
they're very long. But listen, I'm not a huge Marvel fan, so what I do is I would actually turn them on in the background, and I will let them run. and I forget that I've actually watched them. So yeah,
I'm gonna offend some people. That's how I watch the Star Wars movies.
hey.
Well, I remember the number 4, 5, 6 are very forgetful. So, oh,
Just forget about it. Okay. Anyways, I got about 2 hours into this film before I had to run over here. Let me.
and like
I got some beef with Bieber.
with who? Oh,
Fucking-
Jesus Christ!
Fucking
Captain
Bieber
America.
face over there.
Are you still on with the fucking chapstick or lipstick he uses, man? Like,
No,
come on.
he lightened off. He lightened up on that.
He lightened
chapstick
off
this time.
on the duff.
2019, Curtis.
Instead, he's got like injections in his eyebrows.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he's stone faced the whole time.
Curtis.
He's so goddamn handsome.
Tom,
he can't move
let
his
Curtis
face.
speak.
Yeah. Thank you, Adam. You're the first person to ever stand up for me in this program.
There you go.
Okay, so the first real fight, there's a little bit of action in the in the beginning of the film, but the first actual good fighting scene was 45 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, and which fight was that?
Who?
Is that
That's the three-way.
no, the three-way is much later. Was that
Iron Man, Captain America,
because in
Thor.
the first, like, I feel like very early on they're in
Barnes is broken out, I guess.
What?
No, there's 3 fights.
Where did the fight
because
happen?
very early in the movie they're in Africa,
Yeah, that's
right,
the
with
very
the
first fight,
Center for Disease Control,
and that's like a 6-minute thing.
yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
So that's the first fight, but you're jumping over that. So
What's
the second fight,
45-minute marker.
Is
Sorry, I
that-
didn't write it down.
yeah,
It's a forgettable. I already forgot. My
Right?
point.
and you watched it today.
I just watched it 2 hours ago, and I can't remember what the fight was about. And actually,
Right.
it wasn't bad. Like I remember
Yeah.
some good martial arts, kind of some realistic stuff. In there.
So was that when they're breaking Barnes, like Bucky, out of
That's the
the
third
UN
one.
control?
that's the third fight, I think. Like
man.
after the 2 hour mark, because he breaks out of prison.
Thor versus Iron Man? Or sorry, sorry, no, I said the wrong thing.
Oh, so the third
Get outta
fight.
here.
Sorry, second fight when Captain America has found Bucky in the apartment
Oh yes,
and he's trying to bring him in.
Yeah, Captain America goes to Bucky's
Yeah,
dingy ass apartment.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like
in
looking
Germany
down
or
on his
whatever.
bed on the floor, like, what a heathen.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
But
and then the German SWAT team comes
Yeah, yeah.
in. Okay, he's coming back to me.
You got to be very careful about how you say German SWAT team because like things get it's like, oh, they sent the SS against them. But nope, that's the first movie.
But
Don't
actually,
do
I
a
do have a
great
note about that
German SS
particular
voice.
fight. It's when yeah, actually, it was pretty cool. So they're working together, sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, Bucky is using Captain America as like as a shield or a tool.
Yeah.
To blow down doors and such. And then so the German SWAT team people, they come and they do the shotgun breach thing where they shoot the 3 hinges on the door.
Yeah, yeah.
Kapow, kapow, kapow. And then they're about to, check the door open with their shoulder, and then Bucky punches through the wall into the guy that was about to check
Yeah.
the door open, and I thought
Yeah.
that was pretty badass because it caught me by surprise.
Yeah,
Boosh,
yeah.
Other than that, it was a nice brief fight. Like, oh, finally, 45 minutes in, it's nothing but drama
Yeah,
in
yeah.
politics. It's a political.
It
Marvel
is a
movie.
political
Get
movie.
the fuck out of here, Marvel politics.
It's a political movie.
But this is the whole point of that was basically to get like not Rwanda, but Wakanda.
Wakanda!
Wakanda forever. Much different than Rwanda forever.
Whoa, you're getting to some politics there.
No, I think that would have been a better movie if they had Rwanda in it.
I think it would have been
much,
as long.
much darker. It would have been a lot more depth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some real things could have come in. here.
Oh, that kind of darker. Okay.
Okay, and then
why?
anyways, I had to read
Anyway.
up about like this Slovakia. I mean
Sokovia.
Sokovia. So obviously they're
Yerepanya.
so obviously this is a fictional country
Yeah.
in southeastern Europe.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's supposed to be like in that like Czech Republic area,
You think they like vodka?
like former Eastern Bloc nation. That it's like, yeah, this is just generic nation state.
Okay, so my question is about Slovakia,
Sokovia.
whatever. I mean, for sure they're mimicking those.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure.
Slavic countries. It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
Slavic country, isn't it?
I'm sure it is.
It is, and I can't tell if they're okay. Let's talk about Daniel Bruhl.
Okay.
Okay,
Baron von Zemo.
He plays Baron what?
Baron von Zemo.
Baron Zemo,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Zemo. No, that's not his name. Anyways, I'm like, holy crap. So I researched his actual comic book character, and the character is actually a German dude.
Yeah.
And he's a German actor.
Yeah.
I'm like, This is the first time Marvel has actually casted someone with a proper ethnic background.
What?
And then beside that is one of the Ashley Olsen twins.
Yeah.
What?
And
Who?
we heard your opinion on the last
Yeah,
episode
it's
of
the
her
last time I
accent abilities.
Bitching about her Russian accent, right?
Fuck, what's her name again? The redhead girl with
Scarlet
a
Witch.
fire.
Scarlet?
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet
okay.
Witch.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Huh? Oh.
Super OP.
Her
Oh.
character name is Scarlet Witch.
Oh, that
Yeah,
confused me.
yeah.
Shortly.
Sorry.
So I thought we were talking about
Wanda.
Scarlett Johansson,
go
who was
ahead,
also
sorry,
like a
Curtis.
German
Wanda
No, no,
Maximoff.
or a Russian spy, right?
Yeah.
But Scarlett doesn't have an accent, but Ashley, or one of the Olsen twins does.
Yeah.
You can see my confusion right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my question about Daniel Brühl is German names. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
I read about his character, and he's an ex-Sokovian military specialist.
There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Okay, so now, wait a second. So is he Slavic or is he German?
So they changed it a lot for the movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe he
Right?
has
Because
dual
like
citizenship.
so Baron von Zemo in the comics was originally a general/scientist that worked with the Red Skull
No,
during World War II.
he's an ex-Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like he was Nazi SS, like along the same timeline as the Red Skull, but then he had a kid who like grew up in Argentina or something like that.
Wait,
I think.
is that Heinrich or is Baron Heinrich? Because there's multiple names for these characters.
Yeah, because there's been multiple Zemos because like it's been a character that's been going since the 40s, but he doesn't have like a reason to live forever. So they like every time they reboot Captain America, they're like, well, we want to use the same character, but we have to think of a reason why he's still kicking ass and not like in a wheelchair.
Oh, I get it.
You know, so they're like,
So
oh,
they
this
keep
is
literally reborning. I was actually going to make a verb out of born.
Born Identity,
It
but
keeps-
with Nazis.
Can we talk about the Bourne Identity movies at some point? I love those movies.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, next
Sorry,
whatever you
off,
want,
of
baby.
course.
Yeah, that's episode 5.
Okay, so what I just learned now is that this Heinrich Zemo or Baron Zemo is a character that's been around since the 40s.
Yep.
And the name has changed slightly because they want to keep recreating the character and keeping it ageless, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool that they consider
Yeah.
that. I mean, the
Basi- it-
Simpsons, they don't age. I mean, they're children forever.
Yeah, but it's also like okay, the Simpsons universe is a kind of rubber reality where, you know, the octuplets age, but Maggie doesn't. So it's weird.
No! No!
Yeah, the octuplets are older than Maggie now. They're like, oh, they just had their second birthday. Then why does Maggie still 1?
Shit.
She's a precious little girl.
Okay, let's keep it rolling here. Let's get your
Yeah.
guys' opinions, and I have
Well,
two more points.
I thought
What-
you
which one
wanted
to
to get your all. Okay, so we're just gonna.
Yeah,
go...
people who don't want to hear me talk for 10 minutes.
Okay, hold on. So we're gonna go. You say some stuff.
Okay,
We
Tom.
all say some stuff, and then we all come back around and say our votes. For...
Yeah. Tom,
do that.
Tom,
All right.
what do you think of this movie?
Like Curtis said, I thought it was very forgetful, but I remember the main parts of it, which is why I didn't watch it again. But I still remember the important parts.
Yeah.
Bucky got his arm ripped.
Yeah.
But sorry. Okay. Bucky ends up fighting Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
Bucky is brainwashed. I'm not going to say this
Elevator.
one this time.
Red.
Yeah,
Two.
Darkwing or not Darkwing. Falcon. What's his name?
Darkwing. Can we just call him Darkwing now?
My name is Dirk.
You know, I didn't want
I
to
am the
say this
danger
again, but
that
I'm going to
flaps
say
in
it
the
just
night.
because the first time yesterday, I'm like, oh, what was his name? And I'm like, you
Falcon.
know, I didn't say Falcon. I said, Black Falcon. It's like, Thomas, you don't have to say Black. I'm
Yeah,
like,
Tom kept
shit.
guessing, and everything was black verb.
Well, give me Black
Or
Panther.
He's like
Come on.
black bird, black hawk, black falcon. I'm like, he is
Falcon.
black,
Just
Tom.
the
but-
Falcon. Anyway, I felt like it was an infomercial for Bucky
Yeah,
and the Falcon.
Tom's not racist. He's just Quebecois. Like,
Oh, shh! No, don't say that. They're gonna think I'm here to steal their jobs. Anyway,
we're on the wall.
other than that, there's a three-way: Captain America, Bucky, and fucking
Iron Man.
Iron Man
And that
fight.
was a great fight.
That was a good fight. There's correct me if I'm wrong. Captain America versus Thor in the woods
Nope.
when Loki's looking
Thor's
in the
not
background.
in this movie.
No. Oh shit.
You're thinking of Civil War.
Okay, yeah.
You're thinking of Avengers too.
And then I can't remember any of the other fights other than the one at the very end around the airport where Ant-Man grows big.
That's
and-
before the three-way fight.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
What? It's like an Ant-Man
the-
comes in this movie.
That's the best part of the
Ant-Man
movie.
gets big.
That's the best part of the movie. Spider-Man's there too. It's really
Yeah.
cool.
That's before they get to Russia.
Well,
and you go to
shame
Russia.
on me.
Man,
Yeah.
they were in Slovenia.
So
they're in Germany.
So they're in.
They're in
lots of
Niger. Were
yeah,
they? Were they?
What?
No.
They're
Zambo.
Africa.
Zed name.
Zambia.
Yeah, they're in Zambia.
Yeah.
They're in California, probably.
So okay.
They're
So
in New York.
it's
like,
actually been a
everywhere.
while since I've seen this
And
movie.
Russia.
Like
Yeah,
it's
sorry,
been over
on
a year
to
since
you,
I
Adam.
watched this movie,
And England.
and I was trying to find time the last couple days to watch it, but I've been pulling like 10, 12-hour days the last couple days. And when I work a 12-hour day, like on my feet the whole time, and then a 3-hour movie, like I couldn't. Like I knew that I wouldn't be able to do it, so I was like, all right, I'm trying to like read Cliff's Notes versions of it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I remember this, I remember that. And I like this movie, but of the Captain America movies, for me, this is the worst of the three. But
I actually agree with you on that one.
but I've also said like Captain America 1 was my favorite of Phase 1. Captain America 2 was my favorite of
It's
Phase
not a
2.
Captain America movie.
Right. And yeah, I'd agree with that. This is kind of like an Avengers film where it's like take all your toys out of the toy box and smash them together.
Smash.
So this has the same fault that I give to Avengers and Avengers 2, where it's like they don't say much because they're so busy trying to get every character on screen, have this fight. Okay, we want to have these people fighting against each other. Okay, he changes costume now so we can sell that toy too, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Civil War was a big thing in the comics, right? When it was like 2004, 2005, the Civil War event happened in the comics. And it was all about the Patriot Act that the Bush administration had passed following 9/11. And it was about how in the comics, Iron Man had said, look, the world's dangerous now. We need to spy on our own citizens. We need a wiretap, and we need to do this, and we need to lock up. And it was, it wasn't about 9/11. It was about superheroes and supervillains. But like, we got to take these metahumans and put them in this. They called it the negative zone, where they opened a pocket dimension where these people will be put in prison forever without trial.
Miracles.
So
dimensions and pockets, man.
Yeah, so like a nice metaphor about Guantanamo Bay. And Captain America was like, Captain America was like, hey, you ever heard of this thing called the Constitution? I'm rather fond of it. So fuck off. And like, he's like kicking ass, and he's like the most wanted person in America because he's opposing the Patriot Act. And this movie did something different. And it had a lot of potential because if you look at the two storylines, it's a Captain America and an Iron Man storylines coming together here. So Captain America 1...
It's not really an Iron Man movie.
No, I know but it kind of is. So Captain America 1, he's a willing participant for the army to fight the Nazis, and he gets a super soldier.
After finally getting recruited.
Yeah, but he was trying, right? Like he was... So anyways, like he's willing to go in and fight the war and be a good soldier and do what his country tells him to, right? So that's part 1. Part 2, he comes out of the ice and he's like, hey, you guys are going to start killing American citizens before they commit crimes on the suspicion that they might. I don't like that. So he fights the government. He went rogue in the second Captain America movie. This third movie was, hey, the American government is willing to turn over national sovereignty to the United Nations. So, of course, somebody that believes in freedom and individual liberty enough to go to war with the CIA / SHIELD / the American military, yeah, okay, he's going to oppose that. Whereas Iron Man was very much a libertarian at the beginning. We talked about in Iron Man 2 where he's like, at the Senate hearing, he's like, hey, screw you, you can't take my stuff.
It would have been a fantastic criminal justice movie if they just made it about that.
Yeah, so it's like, you can't take my stuff. Then Iron Man 3, he's dealing with the PTSD that he's having, and he's like slowly realizing that he's the source of all his own problems. So in this movie, Iron Man's like, he's so rattled with guilt that he's like, I'll give the UN this power over me so that I no longer have responsibility.
Just to be clear, this movie takes place right after Iron Man 3, right?
Well, there's Iron Man 3,
Yep.
and then Avengers 2,
Yep.
and then this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So there's the break because there's Ultron, right? Which
that
in
kinda makes
Ultron,
sense, I guess.
And Ultron was a villain of Iron Man's creation as well. So
We're not going to get into that, though.
yeah, like we talked about that, but like
Yeah.
Iron Man built Ultron, which was the big bad of Avengers 2.
Super
So
cool.
now he's like, oh, I've got this problem that I created. I've got that. Like, Iron Man basically created all of his enemies, and he's riddled with so much guilt that he's like, okay, please, somebody else take the responsibility. I'm tired of the guilt. So it's like a really interesting thing, and I don't think Baron von Zemo was necessary. Like, they could have just went with the storyline that, like, hey, look, we're here to stop this Hydra terrorist cell. We're aware that something's going to happen, so we're acting independently because we're the Avengers, and that's what we do. There's collateral damage, and then the UN says, hey, there's a team of 8 people. 6 of them are Americans, and they're operating inside of other countries' borders without permission. Any other instance, that's a declaration of war.
Yeah.
So they didn't need Zemo in this movie, and I feel like it made
It
it
was
less
an excuse
interesting.
to film in Europe.
Yeah, but like they could have had it there anyways. Like, but I don't know.
Well,
So
they had everybody. They
Yeah.
had everyone they could. Like,
yeah,
you threw in Ant-Man later, and they have
Yeah.
Spider-Man in there. And, oh
Yeah.
my god.
Cameos everywhere. But moving along, do you guys want to just get to the voting and maybe your favorite parts? Maybe your one favorite part and
Yeah.
your one shitty part, and move on to the next
You
one.
wanna
yeah.
start, Tom?
Slaps and chaps.
It's you're next. And
Yeah,
then it's
okay.
me. Yeah, go ahead.
I was pretty impressed by the CGI. Tony Clark. What's his name?
Tony Stark.
It's Tony Stark. I almost called him Clark. Tony Stark. When he was imagining his last memory with his parents
Yeah, that was cool.
through
Young
the
Tony.
Simulation machine,
Barf.
and they. It was pretty good, like
I
the
like
CGI
that.
face,
Yeah,
and he had
man.
the eyes right on, like his
Yeah.
dreamy eyes. So
Perfect goatee.
I saw half the movie, and I couldn't remember certain parts, and I've seen it before, and I couldn't remember that I watched it before. And you can tell that in the way that we're describing the movie that we're like,
Yeah.
and that's how I feel about my rating, which is about 4.
4 out of 10. Okay,
Yeah.
you know what? Yeah. You know what? Just riding on those coattails, it is very forgetful. And I literally, all I did was like watch the trailer. I watched the trailer and I'm like, yep, I remember this movie now.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, Bucky gets his arm ripped off. 3-way my way. Fucking fight at the airport. And it's more or less an infomercial for fucking
Black Panther,
Black Falcon.
Black Falcon.
Black Falcon and fucking Bucky. Anyway, actually 3.5 out of 10. I just wanted to underdo you. Adam,
I
on
don't
to you,
believe
man.
in partial numbers, so I'm putting you down as a 3. I'm rounding down. Oh, jeepers. So I obviously I like this movie more than you guys, but not it's definitely not my favorite movie. Obviously,
High five.
Okay, favorite part
Watch,
of
it's
this.
gonna be like 5.
Yeah, no, no, I'm gonna say Boyd.
Boyd.
Where's my
Boyd.
Where's my
I give this movie 1 Boyd.
Mickey Rourke. Not today. Not today.
Okay, favorite part of this movie.
Ant-Man. Big fucking
Big
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man at the airport.
No.
I love that.
Okay.
Who doesn't love airports?
I love airports.
Okay, let me get to this. So favorite part of the movie is this is difficult because I don't like the whole murdered the parents subplot of Bucky. It's like, oh, he killed Tony Stark's parents, and it's like
There's
all
a
that.
subplot.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it really necessary?
Oh,
It wasn't necessary. It's like what happened December 7th in 1992.
What is this, Batman?
It's like
good.
so it's like I didn't really care for that, but at the same time, there's a point in and the Russo brothers, the ones that directed this movie as well as directed Avengers 3 and 4,
Oh, no way.
they talk about it. Captain America tells a lie, right?
What?
And it's the first
In this
lie.
movie?
Yeah, in this movie. It's the first time he lies on film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. When it's like Iron Man asks Captain America flat out, "Did you know Bucky killed my parents?" And
Oh, and he said no.
and Captain America denies it. but he like doesn't flat out say no. He kind of like just dodges the question. So Iron Man asks him again, "Did you know?" And Captain America kind of like looks away, and he's like, "We thought it'd be better not to tell you." And it's like, it's a powerful moment, wrapping up that subplot that I don't care for.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's actually really, I think it's a really good point that it's.
Where
like,
did that happen again?
That was in Russia. That was like at the
Was
final.
it in
That
the
was
basement,
that was what
sub-basement?
started the final battle scene when it's like Bucky v Captain V.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Right.
That was on a ship.
No, that was in like the
bunker?
nuclear
Right.
launch
Okay,
bay, whatever
yes.
it was.
Sorry. Okay,
So it's
go
like
ahead.
that was a really good scene, and it was really
Yeah.
cool. And the Russo brothers were like, "Yeah, this is the first time Captain America's told a lie." So it's like, ooh, very interesting. Least favorite part of the movie, and this is gonna be weird. The airport scene when Spider-Man and Ant-Man.
So cool, right?
I do like that scene, but I don't like that Spider-Man is on Team Iron Man and Ant-Man is on Team Cap.
Yeah, they
Right?
should have been together,
Because
man. Totally.
Iron Man is all about, in this movie, he's all about absolving himself of guilt. So why does he go and recruit a 15-year-old child to go up
He
against
saw something in him.
two armed military personnel
Yeah, I guess.
like that are wanted criminals, one wanted for international assassination, as well as their sort of team, right? And it's like, and Ant-Man is, after following, his Ant-Man movie, he's trying to become a reformed citizen and be able to see his daughter again.
Yeah.
So why is he teaming up with the most wanted man in America? Those two roles should be reversed.
You know what? I never even
Spider-Man
thought about it
should be
until
on
now.
Team Cap. Be like, hey, look,
Yeah.
I'm fighting for the guy who's the symbol of America. He also is from
Yes.
4 blocks down the road. And Ant-Man should be on Team Iron Man because it's like, oh, maybe if I do good by the government, I get to see my kid more
Yeah,
than
but
once
there's
every
actually
6
another
months.
level to that because Ant-Man is actually deep down a criminal. And
Yeah.
he's on the
He's
bad
not
side.
wrong.
And then
These
Spider-Man.
fucking movies.
Yeah.
He's actually the opposite because he's Venom, so that's why they're in the wrong place because they're evil deep down.
There you go, maybe. So anyways, that's my thing. It's kind of nitpicky. My score on this movie is a 6. Like,
Oh,
honestly.
you just didn't want to fucking say 5, right?
No, because there's movies I've given 5s that I'd like this more than.
So this is officially the lowest rated movie that we all watched.
and
I
the
think.
most time we've ever spent on any movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
guys, we actually I don't want to reveal that. We did talk about it for quite some time.
Okay,
took
so,
a long
all right,
time
next
for that
movie. Next movie. Doctor
Get
Strange.
on with it.
Next
oh, can I start with Doctor Strange?
So
Yeah, I feel like I won't need to talk long on this one.
I actually really liked it. If anything, if somebody were to ask me, what do you think about this movie? The first thing that comes to my mind is Dave Carradine in Kung Fu on TV. I felt like it was a training montage the entire movie, and I'm totally cool with that. I love the Rocky training montage movies. I love that, like he was kind of not a hypocrite, but a selfish human being at first who's like this doctor and he's like, it's my way or the fucking highway, and eventually he's hit the two fucking things that makes his life get all fucking mangled up.
Yeah.
And he gets told like, oh, we tried the surgery several times, it's not working. He goes to fucking India or something. Where does he go? Sorry,
Nepal.
Nepal. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
because they can't go to Tibet.
Sorry.
That would offend the Chinese.
So they
go to Nepal.
And then he, correct me if I'm wrong, he goes to the door, knocks on him, gets rejected, hangs out there forever, knocks again. Eventually, he just makes his way in, right?
Yeah.
So gets trained, reads pages he shouldn't be reading.
And somehow he learns magic.
Yeah, immediately.
He touches
2
base
days.
with his soul.
And
in
then
no time.
it's a bunch of fucking fighting scenes. I think Curtis put it to me pretty good a couple days ago, where it's like, or it might have been Adam. I forget now. But
Wasn't
like,
me.
He fights a small guy, a medium guy, and then a large guy, and then he upgrades up to fighting like the bad guys that are fucking coming down and coming through time warps and sending people through fucking little.
Yeah, because he's progressing in his skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
15, 20 times.
But
I've come
anyway,
to-
I see it as that. On to you. You tell me what you think about the movie, man.
Yeah, the end was a little bit funky, but we'll get to the end
Yeah.
at the end.
Go ahead, Chris.
At the very beginning of the movie, we had some we had some Inception shit going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So the
love
special
that.
effects was totally Marvel, like typical, like nothing's real. Like
I don't think
well,
it's
whatever.
typical. I think this was real groundbreaking.
Even
So-
more
I
than
thought it
normal.
looked really neat.
The
Like,
whole thing looked neat.
the
for
special effects
sure.
were amazing.
Yeah, but it's just so much fake shit. It pisses me off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I know.
all-
Well,
it-
you're
but it was
you're
good,
old
though.
school
Might as well have been
SFX
an
guy.
animated
It was good
movie.
though. And then, so the first fight when they're fighting on the sides of the buildings, and the buildings are just transforming,
cool.
and they're also like grinding up the minions.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Just kill them all.
Yeah. And then at the end of that scene, you see the minions that were, I don't know if they're killed. The one dies in this, but they're laying on the street, totally fine, like dead.
Yeah,
dead,
I
but
was like, come on.
they should have been ground up to
yeah,
pulp.
like fucking
Yeah.
squished and popped and all that shit.
But they're just
Some
like
Cannibal Corpse
pop
shit.
sleeping there.
Yeah.
Some Cannibal Corpse shit.
There's a song for that one.
The Shovelhead meat grinder.
This is actually this might be the first Marvel movie where all the lead actors are real actors.
What do you mean when you say it
Well,
that
yeah.
way?
Benedict
Cumberbatch.
is an excellent
Actor.
Is he an old
actor.
Englishman?
and they're all except for
So
Mads.
who's-
Mads
who's-
Mikkelsen is Danish.
Yeah, who's the ancient one? Is that
Yeah, her name. I have it on my phone here. Anyways, she's also a art performance actress.
great actress.
They're
but-
both like they work in theater.
Yeah.
Theater. And they all say power. All the actors say power.
Unlimited power.
No, power.
Power.
Like 15 times. Everyone's accent was power.
This man.
Tom looks like he's going for a pee, I think, so he'll be back with us. Everybody!
Everybody that's listening, Tom needs to tinkle.
I need to talk to my wife about something.
Oh.
He's talk about tinkle,
Talk about his penis. Okay.
not tinkle.
her name is Tilda
Tilda Swinton.
Swinton,
Yeah. Okay, that is her.
and she's in a plethora of movies.
Star Wars too.
Yep, and everything. And then
Yeah.
before the big movies, she was a real actor in the
Yeah.
theater.
Yeah.
And then Mads Mikkelsen is like the Northern European actor.
Yeah.
So they're all pretty equal level,
Yeah.
and they do a good job. And I was pretty happy about the acting as
Yeah.
far as Marvel movies go.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're clearly going for something. Okay, moving on. Okay, so remember in Ant-Man
Yeah.
when near the end of the movie, he basically shrinks himself.
Yeah, to the
Okay.
subatomic level.
Yeah, he basically he has an infinite minimalism. Where he basically goes interdimensional because he's so small.
Yeah.
And there is that awesome visual flow
Mm-hmm.
of that scene where all these psychedelic things are happening around.
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Well, in this movie, and Doctor Strange, I almost call him Mr. Strange.
No, I didn't go to evil medical school for 7 years.
Has your pee-pee, Tom. Doctor Strange had a similar event when he also went trans-dimensional through through space as a spirit,
Yeah.
and they were quite similar. Getting done. Oh, Charlie horse. Oh, fuck. I tried to close the door. I got
the
a Charlie
worst.
horse in my leg. Okay.
Lamb chops play.
Oh my God! So they both went subatomic
Yeah.
in some way because ghosts could possibly be subatomic beings, and that Benedict Cumberbatch or Doctor Strange was able to shrink himself by becoming a spirit and then flowing through different universes or different dimensions, as well as Ant-Man, who can shrink through different dimensions. So that's like Benedict Cumberbatch was basically, I don't know, a ghost in LSD, this like flowing through space through
Yeah,
that
yeah.
scene.
Hey, who told you?
I wonder if that was the same guy, the same person that did both scenes, because they were quite similar.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe the special effects crew overlaps.
And at the end of the movie, they did a really cool thing where they had one of the main fights going backwards in time. So they're fighting while rewinding. That must have been hella hard to produce
Yeah.
and direct,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
to make the, I don't know the terminology.
I'm
but
curious if they just fought fast forward and then used special effects or
there's probably a shortcut to that.
yeah.
But if you look really closely, really quickly, there's a scene where in backwards, where a person's there's a innocent bystander laying on the street who had been discharged from their vehicle through the window, bleeding, pooling on the ground.
Yeah.
And then the blood goes back in their head, and the glasses like coming back in the car. And that's the first time I've seen like a puddle of blood in any Marvel.
Yeah.
There's no blood in this.
That's true. It's a fairly bloodless universe.
And that's the most blood I've seen, and it was for half a second.
Yeah, they saved blood for the Netflix series. That's for the
for the series.
Oh, guys, sorry. Just before I forget, does anybody want to? Fuck, we should just for a quick second. What was Stan Lee's cameo in the previous movie that we talked about, Civil War?
He was sitting in a bus or something, laughing at a comic, or no?
Adam?
Stanley's cameo.
I can't remember if it was this movie or
I
last
don't know.
movie.
I can't remember.
You see, I can't fucking remember either.
Yeah. He was like sitting in a, or was that Spider-Man?
Sitting in a bus?
Sitting in a bus, laughing at a comic or something.
That's Captain Marvel.
It was 2 seconds.
Captain Marvel.
Okay, well,
he's
I did
rehearsing.
not watch
somebody
Captain
get back to
Marvel.
us on
Oh,
that one.
okay.
But
Oh,
so,
you're in for a treat.
before I forget, Doctor Strange, what's his cameo in this movie? Because I don't fucking remember
I
either.
don't remember.
Uh,
Maybe what I just said.
I don't know.
You see? Oh, anyway, sorry.
I don't
Back
know.
to you, Curtis.
And
Okay. Yeah. That was all my main points. It was that there's some psychedelic ghost LSD shit going on, interdimensional
How did I walk
Ant-Man,
into this?
subatomic shit, and then really cool special effects as far as CGI goes, and good actors and
Yeah.
actress.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
So
I was surprised. I was pleasant. And also, I have watched this movie before, and
me
I didn't
too,
remember.
and I actually like this one. So at some point, they end up like strapping down Doctor Strange like via some weird torture.
That was in the beginning when his first encounter
okay. Yeah. Okay.
with Mads Mikkelsen.
yes.
And the and
Kinda
Benedict
creepy.
grabbed. Okay, so his cape thing,
Oh, does the cape have
cloak
the
of
name?
levitation.
the cloak of levitation, has his own mind.
Let's call him Levi.
And he and Benedict. What? Levi?
Levitation.
Levi?
Yeah, let's call it Levi.
There you
So,
go, Levi. I thought you meant the
was,
jeans.
was going for like an axe or something on the wall,
Yeah.
and then Levi was like, "No, grab this thing. I have a better idea.
Yeah.
Come with me." He's like, "No." She's like dragging his feet on the ground. No, I have to get the axe.
Yeah, that was a good bit.
And then he grabs the thing. He's like, I don't know what the fuck this is. And
That
the cape
reminded-
is like, let's throw it at Mads Mikkelsen. And then Mads does this funky ass dance while he's slowly being trapped in this crazy ass
Fucking weird.
device.
You know
That
what?
was so cool.
You know what the cloak reminded me of?
Uh,
the flying carpet from the
Aladdin!
Aladdin cartoon.
Yes, I fucking totally agree. We're of alike minds, you and I.
All right, just wait till
Sorry. Anyway, do we want to go right to?
I haven't talked about this movie
Oh,
yet.
sorry, Curtis. Did you make all your points?
I'm done, man. Let's move on.
Okay, Adam, on to you, man.
Cool. This movie, special effects were good. They've got high quality actors.
Totally.
The script was bad.
I thought it was
This movie's
good.
forgettable. I watched it in theater, and I think once since then, and halfway through, I decided to do laundry instead.
That's like the ultimate insult.
I don't care for this movie. Like it's not.
That's like
it's
me
not
and the
Iron Man.
Hulks.
It's not Iron Man 2 bad
It's Iron Man
because
3
it like
bad.
it still builds
There's
to
some
something
really
but-
good parts in it, but overall,
Yeah,
it's
like the
meh.
special effects are amazing. The love interest for Doctor Strange is annoying.
Like non-existent. Almost,
Yeah,
like the
like
Hulk.
just ugh.
Yeah.
The and then the twist where they're like, oh, and this is the other sorcerer who's on your team, and he's like, there are too many sorcerers. I'm like, oh no, what a twist! He's a villain. Ugh. And I don't like this movie.
Mhm.
I'm done talking about
Okay,
it.
Curtis, rating.
It's a hard one. 'Cause,
So something you like about it, something you hate. Rating.
the lead actors are strong for once. Benedict was able to make facial expressions. Bieber face over in Captain America. They're both stoic characters, but yet Benedict can raise his eyebrows. One is an actor, one's not an actor.
Yeah.
One is pretty boy, one is not a pretty boy. Anyways, yeah, whatever. 6.
Okay. Well, you know what? Cape is great. Villains I hate. I give this one an 8. How dare you, Adam?
You really like that one.
I loved it. I thought it was
You made
great.
a
The
rhyme.
Inception
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, on to you, Adam. I love that movie.
If the glove don't fit, you must have quit. Special effects are good. Everything else is bad. 3.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
Fuck.
Wow. That's like what I gave the fucking Civil War. Is that just a retaliation to me, man?
Is your beer big enough, Tom? That thing is huge.
Let me tell you, I've never heard that in my life.
All right. Next movie. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yeah, you want to give you a recap because I haven't seen that for a while. I don't remember anything. from
Okay.
that.
So quick recap from what I remember.
Kurt
This one-
Russell is
So hey,
Okay,
so this one happens following like this one is supposed to happen like immediately following the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Although it doesn't feel that way.
The Guardians of the Galaxy are out in space. They're basically mercenaries. They're doing their thing. They're
How are
hired-
they eating? I haven't seen them eat once.
Yeah, you never see people eat in movies, right? It's
Where are they getting their food from? Who's paying their
so
taxes?
That's a good point.
so they so anyways they're doing this mission for a bunch of gold people, and they're like,
what are they called?
I don't know. They're gold
I
people.
don't fucking
know.
remember
They-
either.
for-
Golden members.
They're basically trying to save the Oscars. Is the species we'll call the Oscars?
They're the great jet fighter people, right?
So
Like
they-
the star fighter.
yeah. So
Okay.
so they fight this big monster. Rocket steals some batteries from these people. Now the gold people want to kill the Guardians of the Galaxy, and they're saved by Burt Reynolds.
You know what? It sounds like the
Her-
story.
Wait,
of Saw.
what?
Wait, not Burt Reynolds. Sorry, so, Tom.
Up until you
Actor's
say
name.
Burt Reynolds. This is so.
What? Tom, what's the actor's name? Not
Kurt-
Burt Reynolds.
Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell. Thank
Oh,
you.
Yeah, yeah.
Saved by Kurt Russell, who
I
ends
love him.
who is Star Lord's dad. It turns out he's a character called Ego, the Living Planet. He's a being that's been around since the Big Bang,
Pretty
and
cool story.
he's been trying to inseminate his way around the galaxy and establish a mind control device that will allow him to make everybody in the galaxy the hive mind.
Dude, did you see
Kinda
his
like,
car in the beginning? I'd
kind
fucking
of
get laid with
kind
him.
of like who's
Crispy
the
car.
woman in Rick and Morty, the collective hive mind. Anyways, it's basically that plot.
That's a hell of a reference.
And yeah, and
I don't know, Rick.
turns out
don't know.
Kurt Russell killed Star-Lord's mom. Like
Whoa,
he's like,
spoilers!
I had, and it's the stupidest thing because he's talking to Star-Lord. He's like, I really loved your mom, and Star-Lord's like, I loved her too. Her death is something I've never gotten over. And Kurt Russell's like, yeah, I almost feel a little guilty for giving her cancer.
Jesus.
And then Star-Lord's like,
oh yeah.
oh,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm gonna kill you now, Dad. And it's
You
like,
fucker.
ugh. So the first Guardians of the Galaxy is all about mommy issues. The second one's all about daddy issues.
Oh, sorry, Adam. Before I forget, do you like the mixtape to this movie more than the first one or not?
Ooh.
How's that for a question?
I don't know if there's a better, like, if one's better than the other. It's great. And there's a whole thing with Yondu. Yondu's a good storyline in this one.
Well, just the music base. Like, what? How did you feel about it? Because there's some pretty fucking good classics.
There's
in
some great ones in this one, but I think like the first one's got the edge because there's less slow songs because they went for more romance in this movie.
there. You're not wrong at all.
Yeah,
Abso-
so
that's-
I
I'm
think
not
I
gonna
think the
get into it, but
soundtrack in
yes.
the first one's better only because they didn't go for those love
Yeah.
ballads in the middle that just
Power ballads. Yeah, totally.
for
I
me
can totally
just
agree.
don't work. But
I get it.
that's me.
Sorry, I
I'm
didn't mean to
bitter.
cut you off. Go ahead with whatever you were saying.
No,
beforehand.
that's my synopsis. It's a movie about daddy issues, really, and so I guess I'll go first.
I did I even talk about this movie?
No, because I just gave the synopsis and you kept interjecting.
Sorry, go ahead.
Love you, Tom.
Oh, I feel so.
So this one is not as good as the first Guardians for me. I like the first
Okay.
Guardians better, and
Yeah.
one of my big beefs with this one is it's a little bit like how, from Thor to Thor 2, they took the wrong message of like, oh, Kat Dennings was popular, so we're going to double down on Kat Dennings, and I found that
you
really
gotta
annoying
be
in
careful.
Thor 2.
Don't pussyfoot around.
And in Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Drax is like a badass character, but he's
Batista.
got some comical moments.
yeah.
And they're like, oh, people really liked Drax
as a clown. So let's make him a full-on clown.
Oh.
And he's got the dumbest lines in this movie, and it's so dumb. There's a point where he, with a straight face, says, "The size of my dumps are legendary across 6 systems." And I'm like, this man is named Drax the Destroyer.
Why is he talking about his
He's
dumps,
supposed
right?
to be like a very deadly, like fearless warrior, and they're like, yeah, he's dumb.
He's
Sounds like,
connecting with my father. And
Hey,
I'm
Curtis, it sounds like Vince Russo wrote that plot. That's an awful wrestling joke. That's a Jerry Springer of writers. Anyway,
There you go.
I totally agree. I think he's supposed to look like a mean motherfucker. When you start, like, yeah, he's allowed to do a couple jokes here and there, but if that's the entire his entire gimmick, it kind of kills it, because he's still supposed to be like, haha, yeah, good joke. When you sleep, I will eye gouge you. You know, anything.
Yeah,
Anything. But when it's always like a farce,
yeah.
it's not that cool anymore.
And then Mantis, the woman that like puts
Who plays her?
I don't know.
I got it
Anyway,
here.
I love that actress. I thought
Her
she
name
did a really
is
good job.
Palm Clementif.
Never heard of her.
Cool. Her role is annoying.
It's annoying, but she ends up playing a really good part in the movie.
Yeah.
What is that exactly?
She helps out at the end there for the final battle. I think does she end up getting killed? I think she does.
No.
No, she doesn't. Okay. But she ends up in the final battle on the planet before it fucking all goes to shit.
The movie or
The movie. The
Yeah. Like honest, I have nothing else to say about this movie.
okay, so
Like-
let's go
like,
to
man. Like yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
No, sorry, no, I didn't mean to cut you off, man.
No.
the enthusiasm. I can't contain it. Oh my goodness, Adam.
Yeah, I know. Like here I am. I'm the guy that's like, yeah, let's talk about Marvel movies. In Phase 3, I'm like, man.
Are you okay?
So I didn't talk about this one yet. So I'll just
Okay,
give you my.
go ahead.
I'll give you
Nobody's
my-
talked about it. Just me.
It's not a stupid rhyme. Oh, didn't you talk about it, Curtis? My bad.
No,
You know what? Let's go with
I've
you.
been thinking about talking about it.
You go ahead. You have something on your mind. I can see
The
it.
gentleman from Omaha seeds the floor.
I haven't. Well, I have seen it, but I forgot it. It's been a while. It's been a few years, and I was just scrolling through the cast of the film, and it's, may or may not be true, but I feel like movies with a million cameos are typically not very good. Yeah. Okay. Let's go through some of the cameos.
Okay,
here,
yeah, I
okay?
want to hear this.
All right, here we go. Sylvester Stallone.
Oh fuck, he is. Yeah.
I forgot him.
Hey yo,
The-
yo.
The
Hey,
colors of
come
the
on, hey.
blood will never appeal of your grave.
Hey,
I am the law.
A lot of a
Sorry.
bad thing is a good thing. Okay.
Do you remember Miley Cyrus in the movie?
What? What? No.
Her name was Mainframe.
Oh wait,
Maybe she
yeah.
was a voiceover or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. She plays some kind of sex robot thing.
Is she on a fucking wreck?
I'm pretty sure she's like in Sylvester Stallone's crew or something like that. But like, yeah, she's some kind of sex robot thing, if I recall correctly.
Have you heard of a guy named Tommy Flanagan?
Flanagan's.
Just
yeah,
in every
I love
Irish
Flanagan's.
joke I've ever
he's
heard.
got that scar on his cheek.
Show me a picture.
One second, Tom. Let me get you here.
But we're on radio.
Thanks. I need to see. I need to see.
We're actually
Sorry, viewers.
non-material beings in audio.
I don't fucking recognize him. Who the fuck?
He plays a supporting role usually.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Let's
sorry,
move on.
Chris.
He's clearly
Yeah,
a
that's-
very good
yeah,
cameo.
Miley Cyrus. I'm gonna look that up.
Wrecking ball.
Rob Zombie is in there.
Taserface, right? He's Taserface, right?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Who's he?
Unseen Ravager. He doesn't even have a name.
Just Rob
Unseen.
Zombie.
So he's not even on screen. They cut him out.
Have you met my brother, Power Man 5000? No one's gonna get that. Fuck.
Oh, sorry, Tom. We have Seth Green.
No. Oh shit. He's like a
He plays a
traitor or
fucking
something.
duck.
What?
Howard the Duck. Is
Howard
his
the
name.
Duck.
Of course.
Once you go duck, you're out of luck.
That's his line.
I think so.
Oh.
Something
Once
like
you go
that.
duck, you never get fucked.
Do you know a guy named Ving Rhames?
Yeah.
Or Rams?
Yeah, Ving Rhames. Yeah.
Who is that?
He's this guy.
Action.
I'm just
He looks
gonna
familiar,
I'm
but
just
I
gonna
know
know
action
who that
movies,
is
I think.
immediately.
He's a big motherfucker.
Yeah, action movies.
Oh, I fucking do know who that is.
I couldn't name a role, but
Yo, every time you come here, You just try to fucking beat me down, and I just ain't taking it no more, brother.
Man, we're spending a lot of time talking about mediocre movies right
Yeah,
now.
sorry. Okay, Curtis, your next point. Oh, you were checking out cameos. Who else is in this one?
Have you heard of Wyatt Olaf?
Nope.
No clue.
Well, he may have Down syndrome.
Curtis, come on, you guys. That's
Did
not
he
something to
did he
laugh
get his
at.
vaccines?
Oh, come on.
Don't
That's
vaccinate.
not Curtis.
Oh.
Not funny.
We need to cut all of that. part.
I'm an asshole.
Curtis, you're going to hell.
I'm an asshole.
I drive really slow in the ultra fast lane while the people behind me are going insane.
He's an asshole.
That's all I have to say. See ya.
Shit.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
So on to Adam for. Wait, I still didn't fucking talk
Yeah,
about
you didn't
it.
talk about it.
Okay.
Clearly, you want to skip.
I'll fucking make it real quick. So right off the bat, in the beginning, fucking badass looking porn star.
Miley Cyrus?
What? No.
No.
Fucking beginning of the movie, sweet ass, kick ass '80s music. Buddy's in his like awesome. I'm just gonna say it has a slant 6 because I just want to.
Everything cool's got a slant 6.
Anyway, it's some V8 Camaro or some shit, and there's this blonde-haired girl, and it's his fucking wife, and eventually they're playing this awesome track. Next thing you know, boom, hospital scene, cancer, kid, fucking tape, not tape recorder, but fucking cassette player.
Walkman.
Fucking wife dies. Alien spaceship out of the skies picks up kid. Fucking kid didn't have a very good last thing. Say dad didn't do the best thing for the kid. Kid's fucking gone. Next thing you know, bam, they get in a fight on a planet with his dad. Why did they have to make almost 2 hours plus out of this?
That was a 2-hour plus movie?
They all are.
It's like
No, that's a 90-minute movie for
No,
sure.
but I'm saying all of these movies are over
Look,
2
it's
hours.
like-
yeah, but they shouldn't be.
you could
No,
have
they
seen it from the
definitely
fucking
shouldn't be.
beginning that Star-Lord has father
Star-Lord,
issues,
Yeah,
right?
he calls himself Star-Lord.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Who?
I love that part in the first movie.
You can tell right off the beginning that it's a daddy issue movie.
Yeah.
I don't know why they fucking waited 2 hours to say this. If they would have done it sooner, I would have liked it more. I didn't like it that much. I thought the music was still good. I did, like Adam said, I like the music from the first movie a bit more. I think it flows more. I think if you have more music that you're basically trying to write a script around,
Yeah.
it should flow with how the fucking script is being written. With how, Curtis's points, it's true. It's very heavy on CGI. If they could have had actual legit effects, actual stuntman effects with broken obstacles around them instead of all CGI broken obstacles and that kind of stuff, I thought it'd be a lot cooler. Because that didn't happen, it was mostly I think it was either Adam or Curtis. It's a lot in space. Gold dudes, they're very fucking forgetful. You're supposed to think that they're tough,
Oh,
but
and
they
they're
come
dumb.
across as a
There's
bunch of
gold
pussies.
dudes?
The Oscar people.
Yeah,
I can't remember that.
Yeah, they're just dumb.
and it's maybe that's for the best.
It's-
Correct me if I'm wrong. Benicio del Toro is still in this movie, right?
No.
He's dead already. Okay.
just dumb.
Other than that,
Should there be a third one?
you know what? Because you asked that, it's
'Cause
big,
it's new-
big
it's
surprise.
coming
They're
soon, I'm
still
sure.
making it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
coming soon.
But,
it's on its way.
but, I like the
because
movie.
and we'll get there eventually. But
I didn't
the
think it
third
was
Guardians
bad.
of the Galaxy
You know what?
supposedly is going to like have
You know
like
what?
the
Can I tell
Guardians
you-
plus Thor.
Yeah, it's true. But can I tell you my favorite part before I forget?
Yeah.
It's close to the fucking end of the movie. So if you fucking power through an hour and 40 minutes and you get to the end, and then it gets to the point where it's like, hey, do you have any tape? No, I don't have any tape. Why don't you have any tape? Why should what? I'm the one who needs to have tape? Well, you're the only one with a fucking nuke on your back. Why don't you have tape? Ask people if you have tape. Hold on. No one has tape. You guys are unbearable. Why is this taking so long? Hurry up. Groot, don't press the red button.
I am
Groot. I hate this. Anyway,
I am Groot.
It was a good movie. It wasn't as memorable as the first one. The first one I really liked. So let's go on to Curtis. Score, best
No,
part.
favorite part, worst part, score.
Yeah. Oh, you want to start off with me?
Yeah, you. Since
Okay,
you're going
yeah.
on the
Okay,
rant.
so best part, awesome fucking car in the beginning with a porn star. Worst fucking shitty part, everything with the gold people. Fucking even that being said, 7 out of 10.
Whoa, what?
Tom's friendly today.
I like the soundtrack. It wasn't bad. Sometimes music, for us music guys, makes a movie. If you got some good music, you might like
All right, you've lost your ability to talk. Curtis, what's your score?
it. 7 out of
Or
10.
what best part, worst part score? Yeah, you're
I can't
shocked.
even remember the movie, so
Yeah, you're
I
just in
can't even
shock
give a
after
proper
a 7.
synopsis. But my gut says
The
it's like
French judge.
It's below 4
Below? Okay. be
because I don't
more
remember.
accurate.
Right? Let's just
Oh,
say
so
3.
4. 4.
3.
What? 3? Oh my god.
But I don't remember. I've seen it before.
But you cannot name a best part
I can't
or worst
remember.
part.
I can't. I barely remember anything.
There you go. There you go. Done.
Okay.
We
Okay.
go- Adam, would you mind moving your mic a little bit further away from your?
Oh, sure.
You're breathing very heavily into the
Sure.
microphone, and
Hey.
I'm going to have to edit that out.
Yeah, not a problem. See,
Well,
Tom told me last time.
let's try
get
to keep
close.
it
Like,
consistent.
get
Sorry,
to-
guys, but I have work to do after this.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay, so go ahead, Adam. Thank you.
Cool. Okay, so best part for the movie for me is the opening scene, where
Well, the porn star, right?
where Groot is dancing around and playing music while the rest of them are fighting the big monster.
Being all
And-
cute and shit.
Yeah, like it's a commercial for baby Groot toys, and I don't care
Oh.
because like to me, it was a really nice juxtaposition where they're like having like this big epic fight scene, and like he's just dancing around, and like the radio gets destroyed, and he's like, meh, 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 and he like starts kicking it, but then they ruin it by then going ultra dramatic. Like if they had if they had just kept with it where it's like they defeated the monster without the camera ever focusing on the monster, and it's just focusing on Groot, and like the monster when it dies destroys the radio, and then Groot's like meh meh meh,
That
and
would
he's
be
like,
pretty cute.
and then he thinks that he's beat the monster, and he's like jumping around like Rocky, right? It would have been like that to me would have been very fitting. Like it's like where they're like it's an action movie that doesn't take itself seriously,
Yeah.
which I feel like is what they were setting up, but then they like were like, wait, we're an action movie, so then they took themselves seriously again. It's like, damn it, you guys
You
did
can't take that movie seriously.
it. Yeah, and I'm like, so worst part of the movie, yeah, the Oscars. They're just stupid. Like everything about their civilization is stupid. They're
Oh,
over
the gold people.
They're
okay,
like,
sorry. Yeah.
yeah, we're like, we hired you because our lives are too precious, so we can't put ourselves in harm's way. And then they're like trying to kill the Guardians of the Galaxy because they stole the batteries, and they're like, but we've got these drones that we can hunt you down with and we'll be safe. And I'm like, then why didn't you use those before? Why even hire? They're stupid. This movie's a 3.
Jesus. Just because I gave it a higher score, that's not the lowest movie we rated today yet.
It's a tie.
I know it's next phase, but Thor Ragnarok.
No,
Oh, that's
today.
this
How's-
phase. That's
that's
today.
Excuse me. That's not this.
That's today.
That's the
That's
second
today.
part of this phase.
No, that's the
No,
first
that's today.
part.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was sorry. I was misled earlier.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's the next. Actually, hey, I'm calling
Thor
it Tom.
Ragnarok,
Wait,
Black
Tom.
I had a small point.
Tom, wait.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead with
just-
your
point.
what's the other? Okay,
C-
sure.
To touch on the humor the humor aspect of this film is that it was using irony because it wasn't taking itself seriously,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that in these ridiculous movies.
Yeah.
And Thor Ragnarok to me was really good because they
was
were being
awesome.
very ironic.
Fuck
Right.
yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Cool. I'm calling a timeout.
Yeah.
This part gets edited out of the podcast
This
before
is
it goes
hilarious.
Oh,
We'll
that's
keep it
all
in as
right.
well.
Hey, time out now, guys. We'll see you again in fucking 5.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Great Canadian Hosers. And before we continue giving our quick and dirty reviews of these Marvel movies, we want to plug a little program from our friends at Analog Brewing.
King Diamond would be proud.
Yes, listen, do you like to drink beer?
Yes.
How about dark, full beer?
Oh yeah.
Yes, now Analog has a new beer called Vaporwave.
No.
Fucked it up. This is where I edit myself.
That's all right.
Vaporware, Vienna Lager. Okay, do you like to drink beer?
Yes.
Do you like to donate and be part of a greater cause?
How about we do the same thing at once?
Curtis.
I feel so good. Can I pat myself on the back right now?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That's what Instagram is for. 20% of profits donated to Wellspring Edmonton. What?
How much? How much?
Okay. So when you show up at Analog Brewing and you buy this beer between Thursday through Saturday, yes?
Thursday through Saturday.
Between 4 p.m. and 11 p.m.
Oh my God.
Okay.
That's so long.
If you purchase Vaporware Vienna Lager, 20% of the profits of that beer is donated to Wellspring Edmonton. What is Wellspring Edmonton? It is an excellent not-for-profit for the support, especially emotional support, for those who are going through cancer treatment and their families. Are you going to talk about the activities that they do as well?
Why not?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Tom.
Vienna Lager is an old world. Easy drinking, fall beer, doing good and great things, and giving back to the community, brother. You know what? There's only one thing I have left to say. That's hashtag drink beer from here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, hey, Adam. I didn't notice you just sitting there.
I'm just drinking a beer.
Okay, lastly, Analog Brewing at 8620 53rd Avenue in Edmonton, Alberta. You can
Come meet
show
8-Bit
up.
Tom! Come meet 8-Bit Tom!
Thursdays
I will
after
drink
work.
you under the table! I will buy you beer and then drink you under the table!
And then he will dance
just-
on top of the
Wait,
table
wait,
for
he
you
just
as well.
offered to buy everybody beer.
Oops.
That's
you
a
know
verbal
what?
contract.
I will drink you under the table! Bring your dad, because then I'll drink your fucking dad under the table so you can cry to mommy! Ha ha ha!
Okay, thanks again to Analog Brewing to helping us.
Hold
out.
on, wait. Guys, beers. 3, 2, 1. Pop them.
This beer is so good, I popped it as soon as I got it in my hand.
Fuck, what's this one called? It smells so good. It's called Ready Player One. Like Ready Player One.
Oh, is that a pun?
Shit.
Oh man, I'm drinking the Amazing Tales of Porter Fandango.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
like that old computer game.
Yeah, I love it. It's
So
delicious.
but it's a porter.
Yeah, it's a horchata porter.
I didn't think that Fandango would like.
Fandango.
That kind of porter.
Yeah, but horchata.
Kind of look like an IPA, man. But
No.
now I can
I like
see
to
it.
get portered, but this Vienna Lager is more my style.
Yes, you know what? If you can help out the community, I bet you that's the way to go, Much.
Because cancer sucks, and we need
it
things
does.
to
Fuck
do,
cancer.
and we need people to talk.
Yeah,
to.
hashtag fuck cancer. Yeah.
Hashtag fuck cancer. Drop kick from the turnbuckle.
Yeah, drop kick that shit. Moving on. Let's get on to the
Anyway,
next movie.
Back to the show.
All right, back to the movies. All right, so next movie up, and I will boldly predict. I believe the scores are going to go up now.
We'll be
We
the
have Spider-Man: Homecoming.
I love that movie.
There you go.
I didn't even see that in theaters. I saw that on Netflix, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah. So yeah,
I feel
Spider-Man.
like I was a kid again.
So Spider-Man: Homecoming has kind of like a dual meaning. Spider-Man has been made by Sony. They made 5 movies up to this point.
So do you want to
and-
elaborate on what the difference is with Sony making it compared to other people?
Yeah. So we talked in episode 1 about.
Just slightly, yes.
Yeah, very briefly. We talked in episode 1 about how Sony had got the rights to make Spider-Man movies, and they made the Tobey Maguire trilogy, and then they made 2 with Andrew Garfield, and then
Sorry, 2 with who?
Andrew Garfield.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
shaggy hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Marvel was like, we need to find a way to get because Spider-Man is Marvel's best-selling comic book.
Is that
Right, and-
like that's legit?
Yeah, that's legit. The number 1 selling comic book.
So the Amazing
So
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man to Marvel is what Batman is to DC.
No way, really?
Yeah. That is how big of a part of the
Hold on,
comic
I have
book.
to see your eyes.
Yeah, 100%.
Those eyebrows are so high.
Wow, I had no fucking clue,
Yeah,
man.
I pushed my eyebrows all the way up my forehead.
Actually, Spider-Man. That's very.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like they had a. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. They had a cartoon in the 60s or 70s, and it was super popular. They had another one in the 90s, Spider-Man, Radioactive Spider,
Spider-Man.
Aerosmith. Sorry, anyway, go ahead.
Aerosmith?
Yeah, Aerosmith did Spider-Man's
Yeah.
theme song.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I know,
go.
right?
Sorry.
Do
Yeah.
anything for money. So anyway, they negotiated with Sony this deal to get Spider-Man back, and his first movie was Captain America: Civil War.
Okay. Yeah.
But then his first solo movie was Homecoming. So the title itself refers to
He's coming
both the
back
fact
home.
that he's now part of the MCU. He's back home where he belongs.
I didn't even think of it that way till you just brought that up.
But it's also the homecoming dance, which
Yeah.
plays a part in the plot. So it's like a nice double meaning there that it's like, hey, look, this is a huge deal. Spider-Man is back, and the people that are making this movie love and respect the source material, so it'll be done properly.
So do you remember? Do you remember? So did Sony have to pay for the name Spider-Man?
Well, they did. So originally they did. Like,
do you remember how much it was?
Oh goodness, no, I have no idea.
And then do you remember how much Marvel purchased it back for?
No, like honestly, those sorts of conversations don't interest me that much.
Okay.
So, but what I do know is that Marvel got to make the movie, and Sony took all the profits from the box office, or at least a lion's share of the box office profits went to Sony, even though it was made by Marvel. But Marvel got to take all the merchandise revenue.
Oh, that's where you get all your fucking cash, man.
Oh yeah. So huge revenue. They're like, all right.
Oh,
You
yeah.
get to keep the majority of the
we get
box
the
office,
toys and
even
the
though we
games.
pay for it.
Yeah.
But we get to do all the box office. So it was like, hey, why does Spider-Man have 3 different costumes in this movie? So you can sell 3 times the toys.
Fuck yeah, man.
Right?
The
So it's-
kids want toys.
Kids want toys, and especially when you advertise like hell around Christmas
Fuck
time,
yeah,
telling,
dude. You
hey,
would
Timmy,
you would when we were
if mommy
younger.
loves you, she gets you all 3 plus the accessories.
How many Ninja Turtle toys did you
Oh,
own,
yeah.
Adam?
Lots. Oh man,
That's
Ninja
right.
Turtles
There
and
you go.
Ghostbusters. I had so many.
Oh yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh fuck. And G.I.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe.
Because knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe was
The
there.
other- the other
G.I.
half-
real American hero. Fuck. It got me in the
Wait, wait.
heart. I'm sorry.
Knowing is half the battle. The other half, napalm.
You know what? I'm
Anyways,
just
so
gonna soundbite there.
so Spider-Man: Homecoming, right?
yes. Sorry.
Spider-Man is a child again. He's I'd
15?
say 10th or 11th grade.
Oh, so sorry, 16 or
Yeah, like
17.
he's young, and
He's definitely
been,
jerking off.
He's been Spider-Manning for a
He's
while,
interested
and
in
He's been
women.
squirting everywhere.
I don't mean the web slinging that Curtis is referring to. I told you to knock.
No.
But
no,
here's the
Abe,
thing.
no.
I can't get it on my shorts.
He-
Stuck.
Here's one of the great parts of this movie. There's no Uncle Ben.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
Except
I didn't
for her-
fucking notice
his-
until you
his
just said
hot
that.
ass auntie, whoever
Yeah, yeah.
that is.
Where is
Yeah,
Uncle
Elizabeth
Ben
told
in
me.
this?
But there's no Uncle Ben.
Bypass. We've said that story 15 times in the
Yeah,
previous.
Okay.
they're just
Oh,
like, hey
it's so
guys, you know
sad.
the story, so we'll just get on with it. And it's like,
so sad.
oh, thank God.
Is Spider-Man is his first introduction in Captain America: Civil War?
Yep.
So that's where neat, because they spent a good like 10 minutes in his bedroom.
Yep.
And
Iron Man
and
is
then
talking to
the
him.
movie came out after that, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, this is I think it's a good movie. I like it a lot. There's a lot of things. It's not perfect, don't get me wrong, but I really like this movie. So
Okay. I think it was a good movie, but I would probably enjoy it more if I was a tween.
probably
Okay, yeah, dude. That's a really good point.
because there's a lot of teenage angst in this movie,
That's a
the
really good
it
point.
was very hormonal.
and
go
and
there on a
nobody
first date with
nobody in this
someone?
room is anywhere close to a teenager
Is horny
Hey!
short
in our
for
own
hormonal?
age or inappropriately.
Hey, come on now. 8-bit Tom is forever young.
Yeah, no, just accent.
Sorry.
I watched it the day before yesterday, and I don't know. It was cool. Like
It was
good.
cool.
Yeah.
when he saves people in the elevator, that was a cool scene.
That was a cool scene.
I don't remember that.
So okay. So
The big erection building in the
this
States.
This is a movie I like, so I'm going to talk more in this one.
Please.
I like Michelle that we eventually find out is MJ. So they
That's
did
that's the black girl.
yeah. Well,
Sorry.
Wow.
That's the girl with the
2019.
that's the girl with the curly brown hair.
She could be white with
Yeah.
blackface. Maybe she's the
Is
next
she
Canadian Prime Minister.
underage? Because
curly. Sorry, I meant to say the one with the curly brown hair. My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
So, anyways, Michelle, who's mocking Peter through the movie, turns out that's MJ. So they mind fuck you that way.
what are you
She
talking
loves him.
about? I don't understand.
MJ, the
MJ.
girl with the red hair.
So
in the
in the
comics?
comics and in the previous
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man movies, there's Mary Jane
Yeah.
Watson.
They're
Redheaded
like
girl.
acknowledging using different races for characters that are traditionally
I'm
white.
surprised
Yeah,
I'm surprised it wasn't a he.
Yeah. I'm not saying
That would've
anything
been
about that.
awesome.
I'm not saying
They're
anything.
both squirting.
Oh,
Web
Curtis,
slinging-
no!
Web slinging
No!
everywhere. Hi, I'm Mark. Mark Jacobs Watson.
Sorry, Marks.
Anyways, wow. So Mary Jane Watson is throwing shade through the entire movie. She's like, I don't want to go in the Washington Tower. That was built by slaves. And the teacher's like, no. And the tour guide's like, yeah. And it's like, okay, you can abstain from this part of the trip. And it's like, so so she's throwing shade through the whole movie. She's great. Ned, the kind of tubby best
Samoan
friend
guy.
of Peter Parker.
I look Samoan. Sorry.
Yeah, probably. He was cool. He was fun. He was like that nerdy best friend
The cool
in,
best
in
friend.
school.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like there was a lot of like parts of this that it's like, yeah, that's like
I like the parts you're talking about.
a little cliche high school, but also like
Totally.
realistic enough that you're like,
Yeah, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You-
like
you could put yourself in that person's shoes.
right, like Peter Parker's getting bullied by a guy
Yeah.
who's
Hey,
a,
how's it going, Penis Parker? It's like, fuck you.
who's a bigger nerd than Peter Parker.
Yeah, man.
Like
He's
he's a
just jealous.
try-hard nerd.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'm gonna mock Peter because that's my personality.
When I say Parker, you say penis.
No, it's like when
Parker.
I say penis,
fucked
you
up.
say Parker.
Oh, that's what it's right. Okay,
Penis
thank you.
Parker.
Penis,
Penis
Parker.
Parker. Yeah.
And then, like,
And it's like,
I talked to
that's
Angie real
what
quick.
10th graders do.
And I was like, hey, Angie, if I had a friend and his nickname was like Peter Parker and people would call him Penis Parker, I'm like, dude, you can play that off that you have a huge fucking, schlong.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, you're actually fucking right.
Yeah, but when you're a
When you're that
teenager,
age,
you're devastated
yeah.
by
You're like, haha,
anything.
penis, der.
Yeah, it's not till your
Sorry.
30s that
Yeah.
life's beating you around enough
Yeah.
that you're dead on the inside. So
Okay, I have more comments when you're ready.
Sorry, it's
after
still
Tom.
no, it's still Adam, still Adam.
anyway, okay, so Mary Jane's good. Tom Holland, the guy that's playing Peter Parker / Spider-Man, he gives a great
I
performance.
love him. He's
And
so good.
oh my God, Michael Keaton in this movie.
Oh, I forgot
Oh.
about him. I love Michael
love
Keaton.
Michael Keaton in this movie.
Yes.
He is at we touched on irony in
Oh.
the previous movie, how
Yeah.
it was like, when they didn't take themselves too seriously. And I find this movie has a really nice balance where like Michael Keaton is like making fun of the one guy. It's like, you go out and you sell guns, but you've got that stupid glove on all the time and you call yourself the Shocker. Ooh, you're the Shocker. You shock people. What is this, pro wrestling? Grow up. And I'm like,
that got me in my feelings.
thank you. Because like a lot of these villains, when they give themselves names in the comic books,
And
it's
he
like,
killed him
from
right there,
now-
didn't
From
he?
now on, I shall be known as the Shocker. And I was like,
Didn't he kill him right
wow.
there? He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
boom.
he did, but he did it by accident.
I
But
thought you
he
said
just shoots
this
him and
was
he
the
vaporize him, and
Yeah.
he turns to the guy who in the comics is called the Tinkerer. So I'm glad we didn't call him
I
that
thought
in
you
the movie.
said this was this gun.
I thought
He's
this
like,
was the
no.
anti-grav gun. He was just supposed to float there. No, that's that gun over there. Oh, all right. Live and learn. Let's label it next time. Like, oh my God. And apparently he was really fun on set. Like every time he forgot a line, he just like grabbed whoever was close to him and he's like, I'm Batman.
Oh, that's a DC reference. Oh,
Right? Because he's the original
shoot,
Batman.
shoot.
He was Batman. Then he was Birdman. Now he's the Vulture.
Yeah.
And I love all of this. So yeah, that's my take.
So, did you have anything else to add to that?
Oh, so much, but you guys go.
Okay, so, I actually really like this fucking movie.
Yeah.
I watched this again 2 days ago,
Yep.
and I there's so many parts that I remember, but I was like half thinking maybe that didn't actually happen, and then when I actually saw it happen, I'm like, oh yeah, and I still laughed. I was like, ha, 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 that's funny, right? Like I thought it was really cool. I thought when they're in what's that monument? It looks like a huge erect penis. And
The Clinton Monument.
yes, so when he's
No,
like,
the Washington Monument. I was
Okay.
making a Clinton joke.
You're an American.
Don't kill me, Hillary.
so-
I
well,
don't know any of your
I think you should be
secrets.
more. I think you should be more upset with anybody who's behind you with a one bullet loaded pistol.
No. Hillary's enemies commit suicide.
But anyway, like Spider-Man springs off the top over a helicopter, shoots a web to the helicopter, fucking boots right through the window.
Yeah, but before he does it, he says, "I hope I don't die."
yeah, yeah, and it's like I'm like that is so fucking cool. And then the guy's like, "Penis Parker." He's just like,
You missed out. We met Spider-Man.
"Yeah, man, yeah, he was here." It's like, yeah, whatever.
they had known.
Yeah.
And then like
Why is it
I
every
love
time
the
he's here, you're not?
I love the selfie moment where he drops his phone when he's in that fight. He's selfieing himself when he's fighting in Civil War, that airport fight scene. He drops his phone and it's filming him doing that. So I thought it was really cool that they filmed him being a teenager with his phone, because all teenagers are like glued to their phones and they're like, "Oh, I gotta help Iron Man and blah blah blah. Be right back." You know,
But
and,
you know what? There's a really cool part. Like, so like after that opening scene where he's like making like this like Instagram video montage of
Yeah.
like, hey, here's my secret identity. Phones can't get wiretapped, can they? Who cares? I'm 15. And like,
Oh my
Happy,
God, everything gets
like,
recorded.
Happy Hogan says to Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark is like, yeah, he's been making videos with his phone. Should I just wipe the hard drive? Like, just nonchalantly, like
Yeah.
it's something in the dashboard that he's able to just hit a button and it'll wipe.
Happens all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, this is what hanging with Robert Downey is, and Tony Stark's like, no, don't worry about it. We trust this kid, and it's like, it's I love it because like Happy is basically the father figure.
He is. Yeah,
that's like,
man. Yeah,
I'm your
yeah.
stepdad, and I have to be responsible for you. And then Tony Stark at the same time is like that, like. Yeah, but I'm the fun dad that wants to be like I have to be the fun dad. You could be the authority figure, but like I want him to like me. So I'm like, no.
Yeah, fuck the rules. I have money.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
exactly.
so-
my superpower. I'm
so-
rich.
So the bathroom scene.
What scene?
Yeah.
So near the end of the movie, there's a bathroom scene where Happy's waiting in the kids' bathroom at a school.
High school.
For a
high
long
school.
time.
Yeah, for quite a while, and then he walks
Long
in and
enough
it's
that
like,
it's awkward.
"Hey, Happy, how's it going? How long you been here?" Long enough until it's awkward. Then you hear a flush, and you see this kid come out, and he wipes his hand.
And it's
takes
like
for
forever.
fucking ever
Yeah.
to clean his hands. I'm like,
So-
buddy, get the fuck out of the fucking bathroom.
They did a good job making it awkward.
Making
Yeah,
it awkward.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But also, like, come on, this is America in 2016 or whatever. You're going straight to the principal's office to be like, there's a middle-aged man in
creeper.
a suit who's been watching children.
yeah, and then other than that, I loved Michael Keaton when they first opened the door, and it's this pretty black chick, and the dad is Michael Keaton. That fucking blew me off my rocker. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So cool! Like I
Yeah.
fucking love
It was a
Michael
good
Keaton.
twist. It was a
And
good
then
twist.
when he's driving MJ and fucking Spider-Man to the ball, and he's like,
Oh, that was
and
a
he's
great
holding
scene.
the gun. I think he's holding a gun. It
Yeah.
was a quick clip, but I think he's holding a gun. He's like, "Hey, how long have you known? You better treat her well." And it's like,
Yeah. And he says to the daughter, "Look, I got to give Peter the talk, like normal
Yeah,
dad
but it's
intimidating
not
boyfriend."
normal.
And I'm like, what a great take on that.
yeah,
it's like
yeah, man.
he is both the supervillain but also a father. So it's like, look, you make my daughter happy and you saved your life at the Washington Monument, so I'm gonna let you live.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
just
man.
just leave my business alone. And he almost went like Corleone there, where he's like, don't you ever ask about my business, right? And it's just like, don't you ever ask about my business.
Yeah,
It's a-
and
it's
I-
like-
yeah.
It was a great scene. And again, Michael Keaton, I'm Batman. It's so good.
And then you know what? Peter Parker fucking saves him in the end. That made me feel so happy.
Yeah.
I literally, I saw that here on Netflix. I literally stood up and I'm like, yes, Spider-Man is good. He saved Michael Keaton, man, and he was the asshole of the
And
movie.
standing up isn't easy for you, Tom.
No, it's not. I get out of breath pretty quickly.
8-bit Tom weighs 800 pounds.
I weighs 8 tons.
weighs
Metric.
800 pounds.
800 tons.
Every
Anyway,
time I
on
do a
to-
sit-up, I reward myself with cheesecake.
Hey, I love cheesecake. On to you, Curtis. Best part, shittiest part, rating.
Well, no, Tom. We're not there. Don't rush it.
Oh, I thought you guys already all talked about it already.
Curtis hasn't spoke yet.
I've been wiggling in my seat.
All
this
right,
whole
go
time.
go ahead. You already said a couple things, but I know you have something else to say.
Michael Keaton. I am Birdman.
Yeah. I'm Batman.
Do you remember that movie?
How about him and the other guys? He was hilarious.
Birdman, the movie.
Yeah, I remember Birdman.
Do you think it's ironic that he is basically a mechanical Birdman in this movie?
No,
Oh, I'm sure that's partly
I think
why
they just wanted to
cast
hire him because he used to be Batman, and they wanted to do
No,
a
no,
easy
no.
shot
I'm
at
sure
DC.
both roles played a
Marvel
part
hates
of it.
DC. They're like, hey, can we get Michael Keaton? He used to be Batman. Like,
No,
fuck
first of all,
DC,
Michael
let's do
Keaton's
it.
a great actor. Two,
I never said he
was
wasn't.
back.
Beetlejuice.
He was back in the public mindset after Birdman. And three,
Oh, no,
they
come
could be
on.
like, look at the transition from Batman to Birdman to Vulture. So I'm on Team Curtis here.
Oh,
Hashtag Team
come
Curtis.
on. No.
Yes, I have a hashtag. Finally,
Oh my
I'm
God.
relevant.
I've never seen you cry before.
One second.
Somebody gave me a cake.
I have one more point, but give me
I
a second.
I love you, Curtis. I love you.
I was only fake
Hashtag
crying,
Tom, take a
I
breath.
was only
sorry.
fake crying.
Oh, that was, no, that was real crying.
Moving on. Yes, indeed. You made me think of one other element in this film. I said earlier, yeah, it's great for tweens, but also it's kind of like a Pixar movie where there's depth and there's
Like
layers
Toy Story
to it,
style?
and where it's entertaining for the kids and appropriate for the kids. It's also entertaining to the adults.
Yep.
And like I said, it's kind of like a Pixar movie in that sense, where both parties can get a laugh out of it. So, my last point is about a character. She kind of played a small part in that elevator scene. It was at the Clinton Tower, you said.
Yeah,
She's-
the Washington Monument.
Yeah, I'm reminding you
Okay,
of what you
good.
said.
There you go.
Her name is Martha Kelly. So she is the tour guide in the elevator, and she's
short hair.
The adult in the
shoulder length hair.
Okay,
I
yes.
guess.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like 40 something, right?
Yeah.
And she's a special lady to be. All right.
Whoa, where you? Hold on.
Let me tell you something.
What?
Let me
wait,
tell you
What
something.
other
wait,
films is she in?
What website were you looking her up on?
Were you web slinging?
Curtis,
slinging.
no! You're so much better than that.
Yeah, Martha Kelly, oh my god.
Okay, how old is she first?
For this film,
That doesn't matter.
51.
47, I think.
Oh, it was close.
Anyways, okay.
It's okay to have a crush on 47-year-olds.
She's like a character actor. She's a new actress. Okay, she's new on the block.
Right.
And she acts
The old
as one of
girls
the
on the
main
block.
characters in one of my favorite shows, probably currently my favorite show, and that's called Baskets.
Never heard of it.
It's Zach Galifianakis
We're not getting into it.
and himself playing a twin brother. So there's two Zach Galifianakis people playing twins, and anyways, I
Sean
won't
did a
go
good
into
job
that.
cosplaying him at the party.
Yeah, there was a cosplay.
Sean did.
Yeah.
Zach. Anyway, go ahead.
Tom had a nice party with some cosplay, apparently.
I invited you, Adam. You never showed up. My feelings are hurt.
I feel like I was working.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
you're
were.
right. Yeah, yeah.
He was working at that job. We can't talk about.
Okay,
Okay.
so Martha
I'm a
Kelly
hitman.
made a cameo playing herself, which was the same actress. I mean, she played the same character that
Same
she
role,
would play
yeah.
in Baskets.
Mm-hmm.
Baskets is available in FX, which no one
VHS.
has. So then I watch it through YouTube. So
There you go.
if you want to check out Baskets,
Curtis,
at
that's
least
not
have
how
one
you say
trailer.
YouTube.
How do you say it?
You add an S. You make it plural all the time.
Oh, I thought Tom was going to go YouTube.
No.
YouTube. I thought you were
You
going to
can
say
see it.
Quebecois.
Hold on. Let
On
me actually use
Le
Curtis's voice.
YouTube.
You can watch it on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
You
So
can
you
watch
can
it
watch
on
you
the
can watch it on the
YouTubes.
YouTubes.
Watch it on the YouTubes.
Hey,
So
hey,
you can
Frenchie.
get it
quiet.
on the
Let,
YouTubes.
let Curtis talk.
So let me tell you about something else. Of this
I'm
movie.
actually impressed that Robert Downey Jr. showed his face. Like I thought at first that it would just be Iron Man in the CGI suit,
Oh,
and then we would
yeah.
like have a cop out just to save like $1 million fucking bucks.
Yeah.
But
Totally.
he actually had him in person for
Yeah.
like what 5 minutes or
Yeah. Two
floating
scenes.
about.
so like $500,000 or
How much do you think he got paid for that?
You get paid.
How much do you think he got paid? Because
10
he
million.
was like, he's like, I didn't think you'd even. No, he didn't say that. He said, "You're not even here," and then he flips up his mask. and he's there.
Robert Downey Jr.
Right? Yeah.
got paid $10 million for this movie.
Are you fucking
plus
what?
a percentage of the box office.
Wow, man, we are so
That
fucked
was
up.
like
We should be doing that.
Following his third Iron Man movie, he renegotiated his contract where in all future movies it was $10 million plus
and
a
they
share.
still
Wow.
had him show his face in the film even after the renegotiation.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
because the
That's
MCU is
more than
built
a
around
hockey
Iron
player.
Man, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
way more than a hockey player.
Yeah, but he does like one every year.
No,
right?
at this point, Adam, I'd say 1.5. Wouldn't you count this as a 0.5?
Probably.
And some of these movies are 3 hours long. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but like Adam said, his role isn't that fucking long in this movie.
Yeah. So like 20 minutes of now that's probably like 3 days worth of work. So
Yeah, okay.
guys, he's only making $3.33 million a day. You divide by 8 hours, the government's gonna take like 40%. He's barely making money. For
Okay,
anybody
moving
listening,
on. Curtis,
I
is there
hope you
anything
felt
else?
the sarcasm there.
Curtis, or sorry, before I get there, did we all say what we thought about this movie?
I was going to give my rating and move on.
Oh, okay.
We
what's
all
your
s-
rating?
We still have. Go ahead, Curtis.
Best scene, worst scene? Do you got one of those? for
Best
this
scene,
movie?
worst scene, score. I know that it's kind of hard for some of these movies.
I don't know. One scene that keeps. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. One scene that keeps popping in my head is when Spider-Man is learning how to use his new spider suit.
Yeah,
and he's fucking up. He's trying to be pro and like cool and stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he's also like curious
Yeah.
and he's awkward, and that's
And
a
he's
theme through the whole
disengaged
thing.
the
Curtis,
training
that's
wheel
like
protocol.
That's you, Curtis.
Oh fuck yeah, I'm awkward. and
That's
and
why
he's,
we're on
he's
radio.
squirting
Whoa.
cum web everywhere and
Whoa.
by accident, right? And that's all I like in a young man.
Combat
You know,
weapon.
yeah, that's all Curtis, Jesus Christ.
Done talking. What's your score?
Worst scene is doesn't matter. 7 out of 10.
Cool. 7. Cool.
That's still. Do you mind if I go ahead, Adam?
Yeah,
and-
go ahead, Tom.
Okay, so my favorite scene. This is can probably not come to no surprise to Adam, is when Spider-Man's out there. He thinks he's doing the right thing. He fucking shoots a web at somebody who's trying to. He thinks he's stealing the car. He's like, "This is my car, you jackass!" And then the alarm goes off, and Stanley's like, "Hey, you better keep it down, you punks!
hooligans."
Yeah, hooligans!" And then there's this old lady across in this apartment complex like, "Hey, how's it going?" And then Stanley's like, "I'm pretty good." Or Marguerite, how are you? Like he's the sweetheart there.
Yeah,
that was my favorite
he's
scene of the
hitting on
whole.
her.
That's my
it.
favorite scene in the whole movie.
Yeah.
The worst scene, and this is so fucking hard to say. Because I thought, and this is gonna come as a catch-22 to some of you, but
Or a cachet.
yeah. The best scene / not even the worst scene, and at the same time almost the best scene is when I saw Michael Keaton in the movie, because I thought it was gonna be propelled to stardom. Like I thought it was gonna be a sweet ass movie, and I saw, like when I first saw him, I'm like, oh, Michael Keaton's in this. This is gonna be fucking awesome. And then I saw how he got used in the movie, and I'm like, fuck, this movie could have got so much. It could have been so much more, because here's this guy who did Beetlejuice and fucking the first goddamn
wrong.
Batman. You know,
Wrong.
Eh.
He's great in this movie.
no,
Wrong.
he what I'm saying is that Spider-Man Homecoming could have been way more popular than what it is right now, because Michael Keaton is a superstar. He's been a superhero. He's not new to being superheroes. He's been a villain because Beetlejuice is kind of a villain and whatnot. And here's this perfect role for him, and he played it well. It's not his fault. I feel it's like how they wrote it out and directed it. I feel like he could have been more, because this is a really good actor.
Wrong.
So with that being said, I'm giving this one fucking 5 out of 10. And I love this
You
movie.
stood up out of your chair. you're calling it 5 out of 10.
I love this movie, but it's 5 out of 10 because I thought I
Tom.
love Michael Keaton and it could have been a lot better.
Tom, last
You're out to
episode,
lunch.
No, I'm not. I'm sober and I realized what I've seen.
I think you took a doobie break when we weren't looking. You were, Tom. Last time we were like in sync on our scores.
I love
This time you
I
are
love
all over the
Homecoming.
map.
No, I love Homecoming, but I
You
just
gave
feel
it a 5. You don't
gave it a
love
6.
Homecoming.
I gave it a 7, 8, a 9. I don't remember anymore.
You just gave it a 5.
Yeah, I know. It's a 5 out of 10, man.
Tom.
Sorry.
Well,
But I still love this movie. I'll
can't
watch it again.
control
What's
how-
your reasoning for not giving it? I don't. Maybe you just explain it to me, but that wasn't good enough
Because
reasoning.
it's more or less like a lot of it's a sarcastic movie. It's Spider-Man being sarcastic
That's the
throughout the
best
movie.
kind
That's-
of Marvel movie.
That's most of Spider-Man.
It's like, oh, I guess I can try to patch this up, and then he does.
Get the fuck out of here! What's your verdict, Adam?
I love this movie. This is one of those movies where it's like very easy for me to just put my cell phone aside and ignore work and ignore life. And
I
just,
never said it was a bad movie.
like it. You
Yes, you
gave
did.
it a 5.
You did.
God,
Get the
Tom.
fuck. Get
Yeah.
the fuck. Adam.
Back to your recording cave. You troll.
Hey,
You just don't like it because no. Yeah, so it's like I like this movie. Best scene for me is the scene in the car where he's like, "Let me give him the dad talk."
I love that.
Love
scene.
that scene. Just great. But like there's so many other scenes that like could be on my list. The scene when he's in his like homemade Spider-Man suit and he's got the entire building weighing down on him. He's like, I can't lift the building. I'm
And
going
then he
to
does.
die. And then he like sees the mask sitting there, so he's literally staring at a reflection of his own face, but also at the mask of Spider-Man, and he has to decide which face he wants to be. And then he's like,
Deep.
I choose Spider-Man, and just says, fuck it, and lifts the building and
great.
goes. That's a scene directly from the comics.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That is
That's cool.
directly from the comics. It's amazing. It's great. The scene when he's like learning how to use his web powers is really cute. He's talking with the AI in his suit, and he's like, "Hey,
Liz.
suit lady,
Liz, right?
yeah, hey, suit lady, what should I call you?" And she's like, "You call me whatever you want." I'm like, "Oh, damn, there's a call girl in the suit." It's it's like
name's
it's a
Liz.
good scene, not the best scene, but a great scene. I like it. Worst scene of the movie is hard for me because there's like so many scenes that I like, and it's really hard for me to think of one that I don't like. Like it's not poorly made. Like it's not a bad scene, but it's for me the worst scene in the movie is when he's like when Peter leaves the party and Ned calls him. He's like, "I meant to tell you, don't come back to the party." And he like holds the phone out, and then it's like Flash Thompson's like, "When I say penis, you say Parker." And I'm like, that's very realistic for how stupid high school children are.
Yeah, man.
And I'm just like, I want to pretend when we were that age, that's not how dumb we were. So that's, for me, like, that's the worst scene because it's like, it's realistic, but I'm like, oh, man, people are stupid when they're that young. Ugh. So it's like, it's not a badly made scene. It's just, for me, it's an annoying scene. So
yeah,
I'm
like when a 14-year-old, 13-year-old is watching that scene, they're like, "Yeah, I would see the same thing."
yeah, exactly. There's probably like some 13-year-old going, "There's a Peter in my class."
And then when Peter is listening to Liz over his voice communication
Yeah,
system,
he unlocks his suit. And
that's like his first like intimate interaction with a mature woman, even though she's like digital fabrication. He's got like some
you see
audio
him grow up
fantasies going on.
You see him grow up immediately.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh wait, I'm talking to a lady here."
Yeah.
Okay. What was your rating for that one? I missed it.
I haven't said
He
it yet.
loved it.
Oh, shit.
So my rating
I
is
feel
an
like he
8.
loved it. Holy shit!
I like this movie.
Yeah,
So
that should have been your rating, Thomas.
yeah.
I did say I didn't like the movie. 5.
you gave
Out of here!
5.
I would give Mad Max Thunderdome 5, and I still like that movie.
You're a psycho.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, what did you say again? 3, Curtis?
I don't remember what it.
7.
What did
You said 7.
yeah. Okay.
Oh, shit. Okay,
I'm
so
writing
you
it down. I'm keeping track this time.
Yeah, we're getting
You
better.
said 7. You said 8.
All right.
I said
The
5.
next movie.
Curtis, help
That's
him
me
out.
trying to sing. Come from the land of the ice and snow. Thor Ragnarok.
the
Oh,
hammer
okay.
of the gods.
Yeah, sorry, I am not musical.
Something, something supreme. I'll put the song in the background. I'll sound like shit, and Curtis will be there. Adam will have not a cap on this time.
That's a rendition, all right.
This is why I did stand up and not singing.
Oh, Ragnarok.
Oh man. So Thor Ragnarok is the next movie up, and it is Thor 3. So the big 3 in Marvel, this is the last of the big 3 to get the third part of the trilogy.
What do you mean when you say that?
The big 3 in the MCU was Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America, right? That's who they built the MCU around, is those 3 characters, right?
Okay.
And this was the final one to get the third movie. Like, he got the second solo movie, but Captain America beat him to the third movie. So he's the last one to get a third.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see it that way.
And he's also the only character that's getting a fourth movie.
For now.
Well, Iron Man's gone, and so is Cap. So, like,
Oh, come
Of-
on.
of
You
those
know
big
they're
3.
going to do fucking prequels and
no,
shit.
they're not.
Adam.
They can't. No, they
Adam,
don't.
look at me and tell me you'd say
we
that.
just talked about Robert Downey Jr.'s contract.
Okay.
You think they're gonna do that anymore? No, they've got the X-Men and Fantastic Four to do now. Anyways,
Oh, we're not getting to that, though.
so yeah,
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok, right?
Fucking
So
love it.
so it's a thing.
Whoa, what?
No. I'm like, sorry, that's not me saying anything bad. I'm just like,
That's what it sounded like.
it is a thing. It is so different from the other 2 movies.
Yeah.
It is like worlds different.
Yeah.
So the first movie was like Shakespearean tragedy,
First one being.
Thor,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
The second movie, they were like, all right, let's double down
Second
on the
movie being.
Thor: The Dark World
That's right.
with the dark elves and the coalescence of all the universes.
And then the mother dies.
yeah, the mother dies.
Yeah.
That,
Sorry,
that you had a
what's
big
her
hot
name
on-
again?
that you had a huge crush on
Oh, what's her name again?
the actress.
Yes. Fuck, what's her
'Cause-
name?
Yeah, I don't know.
Ah, shit.
Oh, what?
What's
where
the
am I?
mother? What's the
Thor's
actress's
mom's
name of
Do you
Thor's
know
mom in
her
the second movie?
actress or the character?
Renee something. Renee something.
Oh, I'm looking it up here.
Yeah. So I'm going
Oh,
to continue
fuck.
talking. Just
I'm
interject
sorry,
when you
Adam.
got
Go
the
ahead.
actress's
Go
name.
ahead. Sorry.
So this one went to action comedy. Like and originally I wasn't too keen on this movie because I do like Thor when he's like very Shakespearean. Whereas this one is almost like Rush Hour 4.
There's the fourth one. I
Yeah,
don't
Rush
know.
Hour 4 with
I didn't see it.
I thought they were all action
I
comedies.
thought it was 3.
Thor?
No, Rush Hour.
Yeah. But like Rush Hour 4 is the goofiest of the 4.
I didn't see it. I didn't know there was a fourth one.
Huh.
It's
Sorry.
got
Go ahead.
Chris Rock in it?
Yes.
No, that's
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck, I'm thinking of Lethal Weapon right now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm thinking Lethal Weapon 4. Yeah.
Oh, come
Sorry.
on.
Lethal Weapon 4, not Rush Hour 4. Lethal Weapon 4. This is what it reminds me of because that's a better series than Rush Hour. Rush Hour only had 3 movies, but yeah, this reminds me of Lethal Weapon 4, where it's like they left the serious action movie behind. They left like the political commentary, social commentary behind, and like let's just make a fun buddy cop comedy movie. This is a buddy action comedy, right? And it's like there's a scene in the movie.
And the buddy is Hulk.
Yeah, the buddy's the Hulk, right? And like there's a scene in the movie and there's actually a really cool story behind this. And it was like in all the trailers where it's like Jeff Goldblum is like, and now introducing my champion, the Incredible Hulk. And like Hulk comes out and Thor's like, yeah, I know him. We work together, And I'm like, the story behind that scene is there was a Make-A-Wish kid that was on set when they were filming that, and he like suggested that line, and they filmed it, and everybody liked it so much they just left it in the movie.
Oh, like they forgot about it?
No, they didn't forget about it. They liked it.
Oh.
It was supposed to be like Thor was originally like, oh shit, I'm about to get mine ass kicked. It's like,
because it's like he's fought Thor the Hulk before, and it doesn't end well for either of them. He's
Yeah,
like,
but
this
when he
this
fought him
is going
before-
to thine hurt, right? And
Yeah,
it's like,
but Adam, when he fought him before, it's like they know each other at that point, so they're probably not going 100% on it.
yeah, but the Hulk doesn't have that control, right? So you don't know.
I feel like when they know each other, he
But anyways,
he would know.
it doesn't matter.
Okay, sorry.
Originally in the script, the Hulk, Thor was supposed to be like, thine shit, you know, and scared, right? But this like Make-A-Wish kid was
Thor
like,
doesn't have fear.
yeah, well,
No fear.
whereas like the Make-A-Wish kid was like, hey, he should be like, hey, we're friends, don't worry about it. And then like the Hulk's like, Hulk smash, and it was like they left it in the movie. They put it in all the trailers, of course, and it's like. It would have been so much better if it wasn't in the trailer, because then it would have actually been a comedic part, but they left it in there for whatever reason.
But it's
And
not
I'm like,
comedic
that
when
was a
you
great
see it.
scene. So it was a buddy action comedy, and it's very, very different from the other Hulk movies. And yeah, it does work. So
What a weird pair, right?
yeah.
Thor and Hulk.
Yeah, and they kind of combined the Thor Ragnarok storyline with the World War Hulk storyline with a bunch of other like there's little inspirations around, and it works.
I like.
What about Thor's sister that they find out, right?
Oh, the one that wants to make Asgard great again?
You mean recreate Asgard?
Make Asgard great again. Come on.
She was. Isn't that this? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that not the same beautiful elf from Lord of the Rings?
You're still in my thunder here. Yes.
I love her. I think she is so beautiful, man. And every time she's in a movie, I can get right behind that character. That's all I'll say. On to you, Curtis.
Okay. Listen. Who you're talking about is Kate Blanchett.
Yes.
All right.
And she's so fucking pretty.
And
She's in her 50s. and
when
she's
she does that
beautiful.
intro scene when her hair is down and it's dark and it's
Yeah.
flowing around there,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
And then it goes right into horns. You're like, whoa.
yeah,
It's like horns and latex.
she's 50.
She's 50? God damn, let me tell you right now. If she's 50, oh man, that's just going to sound weird. I'm not into 50-year-olds. I'm happily married, but I'm telling you right now, for her age, she is pulling it off.
She fucking is, man.
Yeah.
I mean, any kind of scene wwhere she's moving around quickly,
she's vicious.
quickly CGI'd.
So, do you feel like, let's just say you're a director, and she's part of a scene. Do you feel like they're gonna just film her doing a couple of poses, and then they're gonna superimpose stuff in the background, and that's gonna be it?
Yep.
So that's what really kills it for me. And I don't want to go back to the same thing that we talked about earlier, because you
That's
and
all
I
I've been
both
talking
know,
about. Yeah.
You and I both know that we're both
Cop
into
out.
we're both into old school effects.
Yeah.
We love
The
seeing it happen.
real deal.
The real deal. That's right. And when you start CGIing everything, it kind of does suck. And not to go too much off course, but a perfect example out there for you people who can't tell the difference is that if you watch original Ninja Turtles movie number 1 and 2, and then you go to watch, let's just say,
the new Ninja Turtles
the
movie.
newer Ninja Turtle movies, guess what? You're not going to get that same feeling because it seems like they're jumping around like it's nothing, and then in the original one, I'm not trying to get to the point where it's like, oh, it was filmed on VHS, Super 8mm, and what else out there? A Super CD or whatever it's called. What was that big vinyl thing called?
Do you know, Adam?
The big CD thing called?
Oh,
What's it called again?
like the precursor to DVDs that was like basically a record.
It's a huge record, but it's a CD. What the fuck was it called again?
It was called Cool. Moving on.
Okay,
Yeah.
but anyway, so when you watch the original 2 Ninja Turtle movies and then you watch the last 2 that have been put out, you do not get that same feeling because you feel like the character could have been more special, but because it's fucking jumping around like a goddamn superhero, you don't feel like it's a turtle. You feel like it's a fucking Superman, right?
You know,
So-
finally, adding on to that, keeping to the tradition of animatronics
Yeah.
and actual
Yeah, yeah, and
handmade
people in suits and
items in
shit.
film
Yeah.
is the Dark Crystal
what a great and I don't want to get into it, but what a great rendition that they did on Netflix. Like
I watched
that is trivia.
the series, the new Dark Crystal series on Netflix, and I also watched the making of.
and it's
And
mind blowing how much
they-
work gets put into it.
Yes, it took. I can't even imagine. Like I
Hours,
heard about
hours and hours.
a new Dark Crystal thing like 6 years ago. All right. Now finally it's on. I mean, it probably took longer than that. But what I'm getting at is that thank goodness some people take sorry, Adam is just leaving the room to grab a beer and have a pee. He came back in. I have the pee too, but I'll hold it.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We thought it was important enough to make it just like the movie
Yes.
back in 1983, 1984.
Yeah.
And they did a pretty good job. There's
Yes,
some
they did.
CGI stuff mixed in there.
Not
which is
a
fine.
lot, but
Not
a bit.
lot. Yeah. Where it has to be.
Yeah.
And
where it's needed.
Yeah. And they pulled it off pretty good.
And what great backgrounds in the fucking show. Like
It was hand painted.
I love the backgrounds.
Sorry, I miss something.
We did a tangent
Sorry.
onto
Yeah.
keeping real, bro.
Keeping it real.
And what I'm saying, and like we gave an example of the Dark Crystal and how that came out.
Yeah,
we're,
yeah.
we're quickly talking about some Dark Crystal stuff.
right.
How that has to do with Hulk and Thor. Fuck off. But I
Yeah,
been
I'm
wanting
very-
to
I'm
plug
very
this
curious.
TV show for a while because I'm extremely excited about this. It isn't perfect,
Okay.
but I mean, thank God we're
So-
trying to get back to some animatronics.
So Adam,
again.
what
Okay.
Chris is saying is that
So practical effects
he
over
would have
CGI.
loved to see. Yeah, he would have loved to seen some analog effects
I see what you did
instead
there.
of the everything.
in all the
CGI
movies that
digital.
we've talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one the most. And sorry, go ahead. To whoever was talking, I won't take up your time.
Okay, let me just quickly move on to my quick rundown of Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
I think I mentioned a little bit earlier before I was cut off and went into animatronics.
Sorry.
Is that there's a heavy Kiwi influence in this film.
Yes.
Uh,
yes.
And people from New Zealand have a very nice way of speaking, and also they have a nice spirit to them, and that's where the Lord of the Rings came from. So,
this is
now,
Doug.
uh,
Oh, Doug's
This is
Taika
Doug.
Waititi.
I love those
Taika
guys.
Waititi. He plays Korg. He is the nice gentleman guy made out of rocks, and he's a rebellious man, but not really.
Not really.
And
Wait,
he
wait,
is
wait, wait,
also
you're
the
missing
director
something.
of the film.
And then there's Meek.
You're missing something though in the rebellious part. He's a rock person whose ally has scissor hands,
Meek.
and he failed in his revolution
Yeah.
because he didn't print flyers.
Get it? Rock.
So he
Yeah.
got
paper,
beaten by
scissors?
paper.
In fact, he is an insect.
Right. But I'm like,
I thought he was
but
dead,
the
but
rock
he's not.
person lost to paper.
Yes. So remember the ironic part I was talking about
Yeah.
earlier.
Isn't that wonderful? Also, Taika Waititi
I
plays
didn't
Hitler.
get that actually till you guys fucking
Oh, yeah.
put it out on paper for me right now.
Okay, let's quickly talk about Taika Waititi.
Waititi.
He's from the country of the New Zealand All Blacks, the greatest sports team across all sports.
In
and
your
history.
opinion,
Yes. So Taika Waititi, he's one of my favorite movies called What We Do in the Shadows. Is about what the vampires,
Vampires,
do
right? Yeah.
in New Zealand on their leisure nights off. Yes, that is a perfectly ironic movie for me. Also, he is the director of another Netflix show, What We Do in the Shadows, which is another ironic drama / comedy.
Wait, they're both called What We Do in the Shadows?
Thank you for catching that. Hunt for the Wilder People
There you go.
is the other film I meant to plug. Thank you for catching that. Okay, moving on. So yes, a heavy New Zealand influence in the film, and that is partially why we enjoyed it so much, because it was lighthearted.
Yeah,
It was lighthearted and didn't take itself too seriously.
For a doomsday movie,
Yeah, the apocalypse.
right? Okay, but I want to
Go
talk. Sorry,
Please go ahead. Yeah.
So this movie is a little bipolar.
Okay.
Okay, and the bipolar is 100% Asgard storyline versus Planet Hulk storyline, right? So when you see Hulk Gladiator and Thor and Korg and Meek, that's the very New Zealand part that you're talking about.
But
the
that was
comedy.
part of the actual comic books. Man.
Yeah, no. I know.
Okay.
Like, I'm aware.
Yeah,
But I'm
I'm
just-
sorry, Adam. Jeez. Holy fuck, Curtis! Hold him back, Curtis! No, Adam! No!
You take your beating like a man.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Daddy, no. It's force of habit. Sorry. It's
Oh, whoa.
sorry. That's a Waterboy reference.
That's why you would never take experimentation in this future life, Mr. Adam.
Whoa, Curtis, stop. Stop, Curtis.
I didn't say father. No, I only went to Catholic school
Curtis.
for a short period.
Curtis,
The-
no.
Ugh. Anyways, so I'm
You know,
not getting elected ever.
Butt plugs aren't a bad thing. I'm just saying.
You could try to cut that out.
Anyways, okay, so this movie's bipolar, right? You've got Planet Hulk and Thor and Meek and Korg and all that, and that's
And Loki.
that's great. That's wonderful. I appreciate all that. And you also have Hela
Who?
on
Who?
the sister Hela.
Ah, yes. What's
she's
the
on
actress
she's
name
on
again?
Asgard. I can't remember actress's names.
Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett.
Ah, so
Right.
Yeah, we talked about Kate Blanchett
Yeah.
earlier, how
Yeah.
she's
Oh, she's
amazingly
beautiful.
attractive, and,
Mhm.
and she's a
Yes.
dark character as far as like her demeanor goes.
Mhm.
She's got that long black hair,
Right.
so
and
pretty.
she's 50.
Oh,
Yeah.
stop.
But I'm
I'm
just
getting goosebumps.
don't care. But here's okay. So here's my thing though. It felt like the movie was wanting to say something with her, but
Okay.
then shied away from it because
What do you mean by that?
What do you think that they
What do
wanted
you
to
mean?
say? What do
okay.
you feel?
So if you look at when the movie's made and real world events going on, her entire thing was, hey, we as Guardians used to be a warrior race. We used to rule the 7 realms. We used to do this. But now we've grown fat
In
and
the back-
lazy,
in the
and
back
people
shop.
are on Social Security and looking for Obamacare.
In Facebook.
And she was like, it's time to make Asgard great again. Like, I honestly felt like she was such a perfect Trump parallel. Where it was,
Or Scandinavian
Whoa,
reference as well.
no!
yeah.
Let's
Where-
not compare to Trump.
No,
Let's
no,
get
but
him-
I'm just saying, like she was like, look, we used to do shady shit and not call it shady. We used
Okay.
to call it great. We used to be like, this was our birthright. Like, we're
call
just
her a
gonna
Bill
fucking do
Clinton.
it, right? And whereas like Odin was like, no. We've moved on. Now we're peacekeepers, not war winners, and this and that. And Thor's like evolved to the point where like he used to be like in the first Thor movie, Thor was like, I will win many battles and there'll be
It's
songs.
testosterone. That's what happens when you're in your 20s.
Right? And you just like there'll be songs sung about my great victories and this and that. Like he was he was gonna be a warrior king, but then he grew up. And Hela is the image of Thor if he never grew up.
Oh,
where
sorry,
she wanted to be that
sorry.
warrior
Hey, guys,
empress.
Guys,
Well, she was imprisoned the whole time, so she wasn't
before I
able to
forget,
develop as
Yeah, well,
well.
also she's the goddess of
Now,
death,
now
so-
I remember why Blanchett was so fucking pretty. It's because she has Renee's fucking. What's her fucking actor? What's the actual actress' name? Is because she has Freya's or what's her actual name?
Hela.
Hela? No. Fucking.
The
Odin's wife.
Freya.
Okay, so it's because
Frege.
it's because she has Frega's attributes. Because Frega is also in her late 50s and she's fucking.
Oh, Renee
beautiful.
Rousseau, you're
Renee
talking about?
Rousseau!
Uh-huh.
Yes, she's
Yeah.
so pretty.
And-
I'm
and-
sorry, Adam. Go ahead.
Thank you for that.
She's 65.
Thank you.
65 and she's beautiful.
Yeah, she's killing it.
Yes.
Thank you for that
Sorry.
interjection, Tom.
I'm
Please go
sorry.
ahead,
So
Adam.
pretty.
But okay, but that's all I'm saying is this movie's a little bipolar in that like it's got like it feels like it wants to talk about something very serious
Yeah,
and
man.
topical, and it's like, hey, we could do something, or we could be a comedy, or we could split the difference.
Hey,
Yeah,
I didn't.
you have a really good point. Totally.
No, I disagree. Like, I've watched it
No,
3
I
times,
it totally, man.
and never once did I sense an underlying plot, like where
What do you
kind of
mean?
want to get into this, like
What
what
do you
you're
mean?
saying.
Yeah.
Like it's valid. I see that.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
agree. I see that, but I never really got that feeling when I was watching it. I've seen it 3 times,
So you thought it was just a bunch of cool stories blended together
So
instead of one thing?
which is all Marvel movies.
I am
I guess,
perfectly
yeah.
willing to admit I might be projecting as a guy who
hey,
was
no,
a
listen,
political
it's,
science student and was like, hey,
no, that's your nature,
Yeah.
and that's also art. Yeah, film is art,
Yeah.
and we interpret it how we will,
Mhm.
and that's your background, and,
Right.
that's excellent. Now that I can, thank you for sharing that. So now I'm thinking of that as well, and that's cool.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah.
And you said, yeah, maybe she's like the new Trump and whatever. I'm like, wait a second. To my understanding, first of all, they're a Scandinavian society.
Yeah.
And at one point in time, 900 AD, they were Vikings, and
Yeah.
they were going out pillaging everything. But
Yeah.
now they're a socialist society where everyone's
That's
on
a
some
really
kind of
good
health
accurate
care,
representation.
and everyone's supported by the government, and they're peacekeepers now. So
Yeah.
that's the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it seems like this.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like it seems like it wants to say something, but it doesn't quite. Maybe.
Yeah, actually, I think it is saying it.
Yeah.
Is doing it in a way that it's very subtle.
Mm-hmm.
So
But yeah, and then Taika Waititi's got his comedy chops, and he's
Yeah.
got those, and like there's some very funny scenes. There's some scenes that for me don't quite land where it's
Like what? Like what?
so there's
Give me your two best examples.
so when okay, why is the God of Thunder susceptible to a taser?
Yeah. You know what? That's a really fucking good
Right?
thing to bring up. I would love to know why.
Like he has lightning bolts
Yeah.
running through his body.
he can bring it
but
up
a,
the
but
fucking
a
heavens
9-volt
anywhere.
battery up the nostril puts him down.
Yeah. Like, you know what?
That
I'm
doesn't make
so
sense.
glad you brought that up. That is complete
'Kay.
bullshit.
So
Why
so
is that
so that's and it's always played for a laugh where he's like, I am the God of Thunder. Like it's like it's semi comical the first time.
It's not even funny after the first time. I'm like,
no,
really?
maybe the
Like-
taser took him down because it's funny.
Right, and yeah,
But it's not funny.
right? And it's like
It's not funny. Maybe
like they
you,
should have
Curtis.
doused him with water, and then he just like goes like, it's like, oh, they short circuited him. But
Yeah.
like that to me would be funnier, but it's still stupid. But
I
it's
agree.
funnier.
I actually
You
agree
know,
with that.
like
on
the old
this one.
Pokemon thing where like water beats electric, but
Yeah.
Well, thunder is not lightning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we know that. Thanks.
So maybe lightning hurts him, but not thunder.
there you go.
Maybe he just has big
okay,
farts.
so
So
what's your
anyways,
other examples, Adam?
Okay, so another example is when Hulk is in his Dr. Banner form, and he's like sneaking around, and he's wearing like Robert Downey Jr.'s clothes.
He's like,
Like, what am I doing here?
and he's
Dude,
like,
yeah.
and he's just like, but I'm going to be, and he's like, I've been the Hulk for 7 years, and he's like so neurotic, and I'm like, it seems so much more neurotic than he had been in any other movies thus far,
It's so good, yeah.
and I think it just went too far, right?
What? No.
Yeah, you know what?
Get
I
the
kind
fuck
of agree.
out of here, Adam. You don't know nothing.
I think
I
the
don't
last
know
good one he
Tinkler.
did was like Avengers 2. Avengers 2 is
So,
the last good.
Mhm.
What are you going on about? Huh?
Sorry,
anyways,
no, I'm
Like,
not trying to
and,
cut over.
but again, I like this movie. So okay, there's my like best part of the movie for me.
Well, hold on a minute. Chris, did he give us your score?
Let Adam give me.
Okay, we're not at the score yet, but Adam, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll do my best
Okay.
worst score. Cheapers. So best scene for me. You know what is probably when Hulk on the Rainbow Bridge, and he just like gets like the full, like he like sees his father again, and it's like are you not the God of Thunder, or are you the God of Hammers, and he's like oh yeah, I'm the God of Thunder, and then he's just like kicking ass, and it's like, yeah, this is great.
And nothing like Anthony Hopkins getting you pumped up.
I
Yeah,
love
yeah, yeah.
Anthony. You know what? Anthony Hopkins and Gene Hackman, they're both
yeah.
the same to me. They get me pumped.
Yeah. Worst scene in the movie. Basically, anytime. Damn it. He plays the executioner.
Oh
He's-
my god, dude! I totally fucking agree. I hate that guy.
I can't remember his name.
And I
I
can't
can't remember the
I
actor's
can't
name,
get
but
behind
he's in
him.
Star Trek. He plays Dr. Bones.
Yes, he's got the
Um,
goatee and the dual mohawk tattoo head.
And he's got the dual AK-47s or whatever
Oh,
he's got.
I just
and I'm
can't
like,
get
so
behind
that
him.
is Carl Urban.
Carl Urban.
He
Yes.
plays the executioner.
Yeah, execution.
Yes.
And then
Anytime
at the
he's
end
on
of the
scene,
movie, he has like a moral dilemma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he goes from fighting for good in the beginning, fighting for the bad guys,
And then fighting for good
and
again.
Then basically, he's just like a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Anytime he's on screen, it's the worst part.
And you know what? And that's sad because I actually like that actor in other movies.
Oh yeah, I love him in Star Trek. He makes a great Dr. Bones.
Yes.
He had a TV show that was for one season
Do
called.
you think he did Royce
Almost
for this
Human.
movie? Because he looks bigger than he did for Star Trek. Maybe it's the armor.
It's
I
Marvel.
don't know.
They all do Royce,
It's
I'm
the
sure.
armor.
Anyways, yeah. That he's my weak part in this movie.
I feel like
I
everyone
can
in
give value on
California
that.
is jacked.
My score is 7 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I do like this movie.
Curtis?
Yeah, let me tell you something. Okay, no one mentioned Jeff Goldblum.
I didn't say anything about this movie yet.
I love him in this.
I didn't say anything
Actually,
about
I
this movie yet.
don't.
It's annoying to you.
Yeah, it's too much. It's
Yeah.
like somebody said, "Hey, could you be?"
Must go
Remember when
faster.
SNL used to make fun of your character from Jurassic Park? Can you play them?
Can you play a
making fun
satire
you?
of yourself?
Yeah.
And that's perfect. Have you seen the colors in this film? This is an extremely colorful movie.
Yeah.
Jeff
Yeah.
Goldblum is eccentric as the visuals in the
That's
film.
True. That is true.
He's perfect.
Yeah.
I actually really
And
like
then
him.
his assistant is a lady from.
She looks like she's for a women's rugby team.
She probably does play rugby in New Zealand.
For the All Blacks.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I tried doing the Hucka over here, by the way.
The haka. All right, let's play some rugby. Yeah, that's a haka. Tom just did a full haka in his little recording booth.
I just stuck my tongue out too.
Rugby World Cup 2019. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Fuck. Anyway, she was in Hunt for the Wild Things, or Where the Wild Things Go.
Okay.
I
What
can
the
never
Wild
remember-
Things are?
Thank you. I can never remember the name of that film, even
Go
though I've seen
RSA
it 3 times.
thing.
She's funny. Next, Jeff Goldblum. Yeah, cool. I was also entertained by how arrogant and pompous the Hulk was. So when
What do you mean by that?
when Thor was hanging out in Hulk's apartment, and he kind of knew what the deal was, and that Thor was trapped, and didn't really realize that, and he's kind of powerless, Thor. And then Thor is trying to get out, but he keeps on hurting himself. And the Hulk was just relaxing, having a good time, having a jacuzzi. He gets out of the water, and Thor sees the Hulk cock. And now that's scarred in his mind and
Yes,
scarred in my
I'll never
mind
get
because
that
I
out of my
imagine what
mind.
the Hulk cock was like all angry and shit and green.
Probably veiny.
Oh, I don't. You're going to the
Only
next level.
She-Hulk could take that on.
She-Hulk is his cousin.
So
It's
the
okay in the Hulk
demeanor of
family.
Hulk through the film was funny, because finally, yes, I am the hero for once. People admire me. I have a building with my face on it. You know, and then also Tessa Thompson. She played the rogue Valkyrie. She collected Thor actually,
Yep.
and when Thor arrived on this funny planet,
Yep.
but she's like a drunk.
Yeah, she's an
She is,
alcoholic.
yeah.
Because
She's fucked up because of Hela.
Yeah.
She's the lone
yeah.
survivor of us. Basically,
the
imagine
Valkyrie warrior. They
imagine
all
being the only survivor of
Sparta or something.
of any completely one-sided battle, and the one that pops into my mind is
The
Wounded Knee,
Valkyries.
where Custer lost to Little Bighorn, right? And it's or Little Bighorn.
fucked out Little Bighorn.
And lastly, alcoholism is hilarious. Okay, so
Wow.
I think
I'd like to thank our sponsors.
thank our sponsors for booze.
Unlock Brewing, everybody. Thursday to Saturday from 4 p.m. to 11. You can fucking enjoy fantastic beers, and you can also support Vaporware. Vaporware, everybody. Help kill cancer.
That's not what it does, but that sounds cool.
There it go. Works. So, what's your score then?
Maybe my least favorite. Yeah, my least favorite scene, and then I'll say the score.
Oh yeah, cool.
So I already gave you my favorites, and the least favorite would be, other than the bitch ass executioner,
Yeah.
would be how Kate Blanchett transforms into a CGI body every time she does anything.
Every time she slicks her hair back.
Her hair becomes CGI, and she's way less sexy.
No. Every time she slicks her hair back, I'm just thinking,
Sorry,
Gross.
So
And
tell me your reaction.
for the rating for this film
Yeah.
is 10 out of 10.
ooh, your first 10. Welcome to the big
Because
leagues.
I believe that there is no other Marvel film that's currently out that would beat that or is comparable to that number.
I
mean, he
love
can't
your
beat that
rating.
because
I
we
love your
don't
rating.
give out 11 out of 10, obviously. But
Nope.
10 out of 10 will do the
no.
job for this one. And I've been waiting to say that for 3 episodes.
Can I give you my 2 cents now?
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, sure, please.
Yeah, sure. Are you going to give it a 5?
No, and it's gonna surprise both of you that this is gonna be under.
If you give it below 5, we're coming in that
guys,
booth.
this is gonna be under a 30-second review.
All right.
My both equal to one another. My both favorite scene and worst scene was when Loki and fucking Thor both sitting down and they're talking to fucking Odin, Anthony Hopkins, and then he passes away. I fucking cried. I cried at that. As soon as that happens, I'm like, if Anthony Hopkins is out of this movie, shit is about to hit the fan, and then shit did fucking hit the fan
And then
immediately.
Kate Blanchett came in, so you're like tears in your eyes,
I
and
was
then
like,
also
holy
you
fuck!
were like stimulated in your crotch.
Yeah, and it's like, I was like, that blew my mind. 12 out of 10. 12 out of 10.
Oh
this
my
is
God.
this is my favorite movie out of all the movies we're gonna be talking about
10?
today. 12 out of 10.
That's
Over
not a
10.
number, but 10 is.
Fucking 10 with a Thomas erection piercing through and penetrating to 12. Because I would give myself at least 2 inches, damn it. Woo!
That's good logic.
That's a lucky wife you have.
And then with that, we're gonna go for a quick break.
Wait, hang on. Are we not done?
No, we're not done. We still need to talk about Black Panther.
Oh,
What?
fuck.
Do we have another movie?
Yes!
Oh my god!
What is wrong with you two? Black Panther's the one that got nominated for Best Picture.
Why? Is it because the actor was black?
No, because it was a good movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
It wasn't a good movie. It's because he was black.
Curtis! Oh my
hot take.
goodness! Curtis!
Hot take. White hot, one might even say.
I don't want to say anything else. I'm leaving Curtis alone on this one.
We got White Curtis's opinion.
You're not getting any
no.
compliments.
Cool. Who wants to go first on this one?
That was a really
Not
good,
me.
That was a really good pun, Tom.
Yeah, I didn't come up with it. Connell did.
Oh.
Tom, too?
Tom, you go ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to start it off.
Adam, you go ahead.
All right. Black Panther. So this one was... I was curious how they're going to do this movie, right? Because you've got... I think we talked about in episode 1 how much I hate Halle Berry in the X-Men movies because, like, they give her the stage instruction of talk like an African, you know, and it's like, well, what the hell does that mean? So, like, her accent is all over, and then it stops having then she stops having an accent, then she has a different accent in the third movie, and it's like, oh, this is stupid. This movie put in so much thought and so much care into trying to do those little things right. And maybe I like the movie so much more because I know some of the behind the scenes stuff. So in you know, Marvel Comics, they've shown on a map where in Africa Wakanda is supposed to be. Doobie break. So they've shown in Africa where Wakanda is supposed to be. So they got in professors of African history and said, okay, in the real world, these are the tribes that live in that part of Africa. These are the nations that would make up that part of Africa. This is the culture. And they shaped Wakandan culture in the film based on the real world peoples that live in that part of
What's
the
that
real
country
world.
called again?
Wakanda.
Wakanda!
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda!
So anyways.
Wakanda!
So they took those little things right, and they
they went in the extra steps, and they did these little things to do it properly and with some sensitivity to it, and I really appreciated that. They did some sensitivity to it, and I really appreciated that. And then there's these other things where it's like one of my big complaints against a lot of the Marvel movies, especially like the Avengers movies, is like it's just taking all your toys out of the toy box and smashing them together, and there's not something they're trying to say. And the fact that the Captain America movies is trying to say something is why I really like Captain America 1 and 2. This movie is saying something. Right?
What is this saying?
Well, Killmonger is a great villain because he's like, look, he's almost like a Magneto level character where he's like, I'm fighting for my people and his people.
And who is this Monger again?
So Killmonger's the villain,
The guy with the cool
Brian
dreadlocks.
B. Jordan.
The guy with the cool dreadlocks and the scar
and the
tattoos.
scarification all over himself.
Yeah.
Where like
you look pretty fucking badass.
he's jacked.
Yeah, he fucking
Also,
is.
let's point out Marvel Cinematic Universe is 2 for 2 in rebooting former Human Torches because Chris Evans was
What?
a Human Torch and
You mean
Michael
like Fantastic
B.
Four?
Yeah. Michael B. Jordan played the Fantastic Four Human Torch in that reboot that was god awful. So and
Why are we talking about him?
because he's Killmonger.
Wait, hold on a minute. Hold on. Sorry, can you start this again for me? I just want to make sure I understand this.
How so? What part?
Which
Everything you just said, like, so I
No.
thought I was talking about the cool black guy with the dreads with the cool
with
scarf.
the scars. He
Okay.
played the Human Torch in the Fantastic Four, that Fant Four Stick one that was like the worst of the Fantastic
like
Four
the,
movies.
the very first.
No, the last one.
Okay, so it's not the same white guy.
No, the
that-
white guy was Chris Evans, who plays Captain America.
Right. Okay. Thank you. That's
what
I
I'm saying.
thought.
Marvel
Okay.
Cinematic Universe is 2 for 2 for rebooting.
Well, why
the
would they use the same
Human
character
Torches.
that plays another cool character?
Oh my god, Tom.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, Adam. Go ahead. I understand. Thank you.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan, he plays a really good character, and he's standing up for his people, right? Just like Magneto is. Magneto stands up for the mutants, and he makes
Right.
a
He's
very
saying it for Americans.
No, Michael B. Jordan is not standing up for Americans. He's standing up for Africans.
But
Right.
isn't he from the?
He's from Oakland, kind of, but he's like. So Michael B. Jordan.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make you
it-
go off track, Adam.
So Michael B. Jordan in this movie plays almost like a personification of Black Lives Matter, right? And it was this movie came out at the height of the Hands Up, Don't Shoot movement, and Kaepernick taking a knee during the anthem, and it's like he gave a really good performance of like, look, if we have the power to stop the oppression of our own people, why don't we stop it? But he wants to go too far, right? He wants to go out and be like, look, we were oppressed, so now we're going to be oppressors. That's how you get justice, is retribution, right? And it's like, whereas Wakanda's society is built on, no, we just don't get involved. We protect the people within our own borders, and we keep our head in the sand about everything that is going on outside. So this movie has a lot to say about contemporary social issues, and I really appreciate it, and I really like it, and I think they did a great job about it. So I like
Let's not
this
get
movie.
too much into the politics of it.
But the movie is only about politics.
Yeah, this is a political movie.
Okay.
Like, it's a superhero movie that's trying to deliver a political message. Like, they're using it.
No one watches superhero
it's-
movies to learn something about politics.
But this
though.
is the Flintstone chewables of movies. They're trying to give you a
hey, I
political
love
message in a
Flintstone
way that you can
chewable.
get it.
I love this so chewable.
Yeah. So, and it's nothing new. Like, society has, like, ever since cinema was invented, we've used cinema as ways to deliver messages that we thought was important. Like I'm a huge Trekkie. That's no news to anybody. And the new show Star Trek Discovery is out, and people are like, why does Star Trek have to be so preachy all of a sudden? I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? Star Trek from
Star
the very
Trek's always
beginning.
been preachy.
Exactly. It's always preachy. It's always saying, look, dum-dum,
What a bunch
we
of
could be a
nerds.
better we could be a better world if we just stop being, dum-dums. And that's what this
Yeah.
movie does.
Don't be such
It's
a
like,
fucking
hey,
dumb.
it's like, hey, dum-dum, racism's bad. It's 2016,
And you should know this
2017
since
when
you were
this movie comes
born.
out. It's like,
Fuck.
we shouldn't have to say this anymore. Like,
Give me a
the
break.
I Have a Dream speech came out far too long ago for us to still have to say racism equal bad.
Yeah. But back on track with the movie. What else did you think about it there?
Okay, so if, like it's saying something that's topical. They do a lot of little things to make their society
And
seem
what were
believable.
Like what?
Okay, so they got a dialect coach to make sure that everybody there is talking in the same dialect. You know, that it's like, okay, everybody here, like, and most of them are like African Americans.
And us as
But they're-
the viewers, when you see this, you'll see a bunch of scribbled weird alphabet on the screen that says like
Yeah.
where this is happening. Then they eventually say the
They
exact
translate it
location.
from
So
Wakandan
it's like
to
you see the symbols they use.
yeah,
So,
you see the Wakandan language.
so whenever, like what Adam said,
Or
like whenever
alphabet.
you do hear that or see that, you're like, oh, I totally get it. It's like their language. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
pretty cool.
And it's like those little things are nice touches
Yeah.
and
I
Easter eggs
agree.
for nerds to really geek out on.
I
but
nerded out in this movie.
they built a society more than just being like, this could have been done poorly so easily.
Like
it's
Tatooine for
yeah,
Star Wars.
well, like it could have been done so poorly so easily if they just put in less effort. And I think that they went through a lot of effort to do this right, and they did it right. Now, I'm not saying things were perfect. Like there's some weird things, and there's some very
Like what? What's weird?
the war rhinos is a weird thing.
That was awesome. What are you talking? I was like, oh my god, they're using their heavy OP attack.
This is
It's like
their-
you're playing a strategy game. You're like, use
Tom-
heavy offensive.
But Tom, everything else in their society makes Tony Stark look like a caveman.
But rhinos, it's so cool,
Right?
Rhinos,
Exactly.
come on.
We're saying the same thing from different sides. Like if
Albino rhino,
if
the
the Black Panther's sister is like
What's her
looking-
name again? I forget.
I can't remember her name.
The one with her hair was always high.
I want to say Siri, but I know that's wrong.
Hey, Siri.
Was it Nakia?
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right.
It's a young woman.
She had her
They're all
hair
young.
up
Hair.
high.
Um,
Show Adam. He's the expert.
on the far right.
No, that's not her.
That's the
Shuri.
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 Yeah. She was the technical.
Yeah, she's a
person.
tech one, and she looks
Yeah.
at like Iron Man's best work and goes, "Oh, so you just wanted to do a bad job of this?" And it's like she's so much smarter than everybody, and she's developing all this technology for this culture. They've got like
What's their precious
zero
metal
pollution.
called again?
They've got vibranium.
Yeah.
They've got they basically run
And
on
what's
cold
Captain
fusion
America's
and
shield
vibranium.
made out of?
Vibranium.
There you go.
So this is a culture that runs on cold fusion and vibranium, but they are like, hey, when it comes to war, we put some iron plates on top of rhinos and ride them. And I'm like,
Oh, don't
well,
wreck it
that's-
for me, man. Come on.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know,
that's called movies.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yada, yada
you
movies.
said that every
Yada,
single
yada
fucking
movies.
episode before this. Movies, Tom.
Yeah.
So we're gonna use that on you. Movies.
Okay,
Adam.
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Hey,
But
Curtis, what's the reasoning behind this again?
Behind which?
It's movies, right?
Yeah, yada yada yada.
Movies.
movies, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it looks cool.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
All
That's-
the rhinos that they showed in that film is
CGI, they're not
approximately
real.
the population of rhinos in the world.
Why didn't they use real rhinos, right, Curtis? You're probably so pissed. They could have used. I'm Curtis.
No, they
could
couldn't
use
have
real
because
rhinos.
there are literally not that many rhinos left.
That's kind of sad. Shame
There
on
you go. Cool. Let's talk about fucking Martin Freeman.
the colonizer.
What about
Okay.
Marty?
That's a
What
weird
about
thing.
Marty?
Like, okay, this is a Disney movie, and every time Martin Freeman, that's his
He's
name, right?
not in the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, he is. He's
No,
the
he's
CIA
not.
agent.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a CIA agent.
I
and
don't
he's in
recall seeing
Wakanda,
him.
And they keep referring to him as colonizer.
Yeah.
They don't even give him a name.
It's
They're just
awesome.
Like,
He's not in the
colonizer.
movie.
It's from the perspective of.
He's not in the
Yeah,
movie.
Well, I know, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I was like, whoa.
Yes. Thank you. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we actually saw Martin Freeman in Captain America: Civil War. He's the whitest white guy in that movie.
Yeah, he's
He
British.
plays the bureaucrat dude.
Okay.
who is representing the UN or something.
Yeah, CIA, I
film.
think, is who he works for, but he's like trying to get the transfer of Bucky from from Germany to America.
Yeah, he's a bureaucrat.
Yeah.
Okay. And does he play the same character in this film? He plays Everett K. Ross.
Yep.
The exact same.
And I really don't have any idea why he's in this movie.
He's a politician.
To be called
What
colonizer.
else do you want? He's
Yes.
a manager.
Dude, Martin, you were awesome in Civil War because you're so fucking white and kind of funny and awkward. Can you be in this movie with all black cast?
Not all.
No,
'Cause
I'm
there's
joking. Listen. So what I do on these podcasts is I type in the movie and then I quickly look at the casts, and then I usually get a couple dozen headshots. You see,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at the headshots right now, and I see about 17 Africans,
What?
and then Martin Freeman,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
So
What do
Martin
you mean?
Freeman.
Martin Freeman comes after the 17?
Yeah, because he's a minor character in the film.
9, then Martin Freeman.
Let me see. Show
Hey,
that to
one
me right
second,
now.
guys.
Okay.
But right before Martin Freeman is Andy Serkis,
Serkis.
Never heard
and
of
he
him.
plays a villain briefly.
Yeah, like the secondary villain.
He's a bad guy.
Yeah.
And
The guy
then
with
there's
the
Martin
arm that's a
Freeman.
robot?
And then another 12 Africans.
Yeah.
So this is a Hollywood movie, totally flipped opposite,
Yeah.
and
That's great.
awesome.
Yeah.
Those are like my favorite parts. Is that it's just completely skewed
Yeah.
from the perspective of someone else for once.
Yeah.
From fucking Hollywood.
Yes. On this podcast filled with three
You guys
white
suck
men,
about
let's
talking about
let's
this
talk
movie.
about how great this movie is for race relations. But no, I'm with you.
Hey,
I'm
I
totally
didn't
with you.
say anything about it yet. So
Okay,
this is
the other side of the spectrum is that personally, I'm one of these people that if there's a trend or something cool that everyone's doing, I'm like, fuck that. I'm
Yeah.
going to do the opposite. And as snarky and arrogant as that sounds, that's how I've always kind of been as a person.
Yeah.
And when I see that in film, especially coming from Hollywood, where all this money is, I'm like, yeah, of course you're going to make a movie that has a huge cast of strong women and all Africans. It's like, yes, that's exactly what people want. Let's give them what the people want, and which is a completely swapped film. We need this film. Okay, we needed that. That's great as far as society goes, at least in Western society.
Yeah.
We needed that film, and I agree. But like, it's also because that's what's hot right now. Is
Oh yeah,
is-
yeah.
is
Let's.
being-
I'm not going to pretend
Okay.
that Hollywood does anything that they don't think will make them a profit.
yeah. So there's kind of a dark side to that. Oh fuck it. There's no pun intended.
Curtis, come on.
No pun intended.
Curtis.
There's a colonizer side. How about that? There we go. That's
So there's two sides to that, but it's good. There's nothing wrong that can come
Yeah.
with that. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong. We needed this kind of film and this kind of franchise.
Yeah.
I'm happy about it.
yeah, but
yep.
okay. So
When
but
you say
it- but this-
franchise, you
again-
mean Marvel?
again,
Yep.
this is done right though. So
I love the fact that they had these language experts.
yeah, dialect
and-
coaches.
Thank you. Dialect coaches, and they consulted the actors.
Yeah.
And created a relatively accurate yet fictional world.
That's not what I heard from some people from work.
And there's obviously going to be a lot of things wrong with that, and
Yeah.
inaccuracies as well.
but
I'm not going to say their names,
so-
but
yeah, that's fine. But okay, so this movie could have been done poorly so easily.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example of this movie being done poorly because there was a Black Panther cartoon series in the early 2000s.
I liked the
that
fucking.
was terrible.
I liked it. It was so gory.
it was
Just so much blood.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Okay.
It was made by Spike Lee,
Well, that's
Okay.
what you expect.
right? And
Who oh, sorry, for viewers who don't know who Spike Lee is,
I don't know.
can you let
you're
them know?
tuning into a movie podcast.
Sorry, can you just let them know some small little tiny movies they might have made?
So Spike Lee is behind Boys in the Hood. He's behind oh god, I know movies of his,
but I don't know the names of it. The Black Klansman, I think, was the one that he just got nominated for an Oscar for. But his history is very angry. Being a very angry man.
Yeah,
is
and he's
his
also-
history. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have a reason to be,
He
but he
doesn't.
takes things to an extreme. And one of like in season 1 of Family Guy, they make fun of him where it's like Peter's like, that's as realistic as a white man's dialogue in a Spike Lee movie, and they show a white guy going, "Rah!" And I'm just like, yeah, that is what white people are like in Spike Lee. And like, so the Spike Lee cartoon that was put on Spike TV lasted like 8 episodes, and every actor had a different accent for what constitutes quote unquote African accent. And like every time a white person's in the show, he's evil and or super racist. And even when like there's a part where they're like, even in World War II, they tried to get Wakanda to enter the war, and they show like Captain America like paratroop in, and he's like, listen here, boys, I'm here to tell you what to do, and you should be used to that. And it's like, what? like first of all, that doesn't fit with Captain America as a character, because again, he's from New York, and yeah, I'm not saying, you know, it was Northerners were perfect on race relations or anything like that, but like in canon, there's like I'm not aware of any in canon parts where he's like,
Yeah.
well, whites are superior, you know, like, but like Spike Lee was like, yep, this is what Captain America's
But,
like, and just retconned it. And it's like, so if Spike
go-
Lee made
going
this,
off
if
course,
Spike
Adam.
Lee movie made this movie, or Spike Lee made this movie, it would have been terrible. They didn't. They put a lot of thought and effort into doing this movie properly and doing it with some sensitivity, and it came out so well. I really like this movie. And not perfect. There's weird things. There's plot coincidences. We talked about the rhinos. Claw, Andy Serkis. He's kind of just meh in this movie, and it's like, which is too bad because he's an amazing actor.
Because if it wasn't for Claude, that actor in the movie participating, there would be the only one white actor.
Yeah. But I'm like, but he's also like Andy Serkis is a great actor. Like, he does so much, and usually behind a motion capture. Like he was Gollum, he was Caesar from Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Like he's so many different things.
He's a voice actor, not an actor.
Yeah, and in this movie, they're like, hey, let's kill him really quickly because we want the main villain to be Killmonger.
They didn't kill him that quickly, though.
The movie is very long.
Yeah, but also, okay, they killed him quickly in
They show
ratio
the
to
dead
how
body,
much
it's like,
screen time
look
he's
who I
had.
killed, let me in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, Tom, what's your opinion of the movie?
Well, did you guys give any scores or no?
No, we're not there yet.
Okay, so my opinion of the movie, I just seen it fucking 2 days ago.
All right.
And first off, I'm going to seem like such a perv, but all of these chicks with no hair on their heads are smoking hot. They're just like perfectly bodied. It's like, I don't know if they got handpicked just to cast like
It's
okay,
Hollywood. Yes, they all got
yeah, it's
handpicked.
like you're this beautiful African woman, and
They're
it's like,
all athletes.
yeah, and they're like just buffed and like just like super ripped, you know, like super fucking strong looking.
You like
You're
that,
like,
huh?
it's like, okay, so if I love her and have feelings for her, she has feelings for me, and I marry her, I have to remember that if any
Where's
time
this
there's
going?
I'm getting there. If at any point there's an argument, I'll be like, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. You were right. Because these girls look fucking tough. And every time I saw these chicks
I was
on
very nervous
screen,
when that was
Was
going.
Angie there?
Huh?
Was she watching it with you?
yeah, she watched
Oh.
Black Panther with me.
That's good. And you're like getting a little boner, and she's like, "Hey, what's up, Tom?"
Hey,
Hey, little
hey, whoa, hold on. I
2-inch
didn't tell
Tom.
you anything about that. He's speculating. I didn't say anything to him. So.
This is what happens.
No, nothing happened, Curtis.
Okay,
But anyway,
let's get on with it.
what I'm saying is that these chicks looked hot. They were tough looking. I loved the part where Black Panther's sister is in the car and she's driving it like 3D wise. You know, she's in the car driving
Yeah,
it
okay.
3D wise. I thought it was really
That's
cool.
one way to put it.
How else would you put
Whatever.
it?
It's complicated.
Yeah.
Anyway, besides the point, I thought it was really cool that eventually somebody pierced through the bubble that is. What's this place called again, Adam?
Wakanda.
Wakanda. Sha. Wakanda. Anyway, I thought it was fucking awesome. I love this movie. The first time I watched it, I thought it was really fucking kind of lame. Like, I thought it was just a bunch of Mercedes or Toyota SR5s chasing each other downtown.
Yep.
And there was this guy with a cannon for an arm, no pun intended, and some high tech. And then they were like, we do not want to mess with the human race. We want to be separated from them. So I'm like, man, it's kind of weird. It's like segregation almost, right? It's like segregation from the world. Anyway, I love the movie. Did you guys already give your scores?
No.
Start. Okay, so let's start with Curtis and then Adam. Segregation, you guys. It still exists. It makes me sick.
But it's wrong, right, Tom?
It's totally wrong.
Okay, good. I
Of
just want
course
to
it's
clarify
wrong.
your opinion on that.
What? Come on.
You misspoke. The
What do you mean I
Wakandans
misspoke?
are also humans.
Yeah, because you said, the Wakandans want to be separate from the human race. And it's like,
Well, they didn't want to help them out because they knew they
mean-
were a
no,
bad
no,
race.
But you mean the rest of
The world.
the human race.
Yes.
The rest of the world. Let's,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sure you're wording.
Oh my God. Okay,
Ladies and
onward.
gentlemen listening out there, Tom may be Quebecois.
Hey, don't
that has
say
nothing
that.
to do with that.
No.
You just misspoke. It's okay.
He
I was
just
born in
misspoke.
Alberta.
English,
I'm an
English
Alberta
is
boy.
his second language.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeehaw.
Nothing against you,
Yee-hoo.
Tom. It's just sounding
Ding.
that could have been insensitive if someone misunderstood it.
Right. But we have thoroughly clarified.
Okay, I hope so.
Jeez Louise, Papa G.
Hashtag cancel 8-bit.
Hey, what? What? Curtis, open this door. It's time for an axe handle smash.
Curtis, best and worst part of the movie, and your score.
Okay, fuck me. That's funny.
Wow, yeah, you're
That'll
starting
be
it
the
off,
best
Curtis.
part.
The best part of the movie is what we touched on earlier, is how they put a heck of a lot of effort in making this culturally appropriate.
Cool.
What's the place called again?
Wakanda.
Wakanda, 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 Wakanda.
That's my traditional roots coming out there.
Oh man, I got
So,
goosebumps
yeah,
off that.
anyways.
It's real.
Doing the haka.
They were accurate in a lot of ways. I've never been to Africa. I've never been to
Neither have I.
Rwanda or any of those regions. But as a white person from northern Canada, I think it's cool.
Yeah, man.
I think it's
awesome.
okay. I don't know. Even African Americans wouldn't probably know if it's perfectly accurate or accurate
Hey
or not.
Curtis, did you just get that feeling that's like African Canadian? Doesn't that sound cool?
Sure, man. We'll have to ask our friend Moose about that.
African
Moving
Canadian.
on.
Pretty cool.
Okay, so but the
Sorry. Go ahead.
negative to the film,
Oh
which
no.
really fucking pissed me off and
Oh,
annoyed me.
no.
I went to the theater for this.
Oh, you saw it on the big
I
screen.
rarely ever see these Marvel
Oh.
films in theater,
So cool.
Alright.
I never saw it on the big screen.
and I thought it sucked. Other
No.
than like the connotations and the message they're portraying.
So you paid money for it. You sat down. You looked at it on the big screen. You got your popcorn. You got
Yeah.
your fucking pop.
Yeah.
And you're there looking at the fucking movie.
Let Curtis speak.
it's okay.
And
It's okay.
it's like while you're looking at it, you honestly feel deep down that you're
Yeah.
actually not liking watching
Because
this movie.
I looked past all the cultural connotations in the film that they're trying to touch on.
Okay.
Okay, which we talked about for the last 20 minutes or whatever. Okay, I looked past that stuff and I looked at it as a film to entertain me, and it wasn't entertaining.
Okay.
It was like cliche after cliche after cliche. I've seen this in every single other Marvel movie. CGI up the fucking ass.
And we already established you don't like CGI.
Predictable.
Curtis is
Acting
pissed.
was basically shit.
Fucking pissed off. Curtis.
Shitty acting.
Yep.
But then there's all the other cultural and societal, social connotations,
Yeah.
which is neat.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm
So it
glad
brings
they
you
did
back
it.
in.
But as a movie, race, color, actors aside, whoever funded it, it sucked.
Okay.
and fuck whatever rating they gave it on Rotten Tomatoes, because those guys on Rotten Tomatoes or whoever else in the Oscars are like, yeah, it's pretty cool right now to rate these cutting edge cultural societal films that are trying to like empower these people.
I feel like
It's cool right now. So let's give it a good score. Doesn't matter if the action is the same shit we've seen over and over again. Nothing's real. The acting sucks. But one dude is really jacked, and that's kind of cool. He's got scarification kind of stuff. You know, I'm into that. Other than that, fuck that movie. And I wasted money on that. And fuck that movie, but I also appreciate the social, cultural components. Okay, so
What's your
I
score?
don't dislike the movie.
What's in the box?
I'm passionate about
What's in
how
the
the
box?
film is done. Anyways, fuck it. 4 out of 10 at best.
Oh,
Yep, thank you, Tom, for that. That's cool. 4 out of 10, and I actually no, fuck, 3 out of 10.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it sucks.
So just to recap, what did Adam give it?
I haven't given a score yet.
I'm the first.
So okay, so this is the last movie we're talking about. So do we end off with Adam, our guest, or do we end off with 8-Bit Tom's? I feel like we should end off with our guest. Right?
All right,
Like-
Tom, you go ahead.
So
Wow.
I'm just gonna tell you how I feel about it.
All right, Tom.
What do you think?
What's in the box?
I want you to use your best, either of you. Actually, you know what? Both of you try this out. Use your best trailer voice and tell me the title of the movie and what I'm expecting to see.
what?
What? What?
I get what you mean,
Like,
but how the hell am I supposed
hey.
to pull that out of my ass right now?
Like
Come
for-
see Black Panther.
Okay, you want
See.
me to do the trailer for Black Panther?
Yeah, let's start with you, Adam.
All right. Thanks for the heads up. You were going to challenge us to this.
Sing the beginning of Lion King.
Curtis.
You ever see the Book of Mormon?
No, I haven't seen it. No,
I love the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
I've seen it twice, and they
like
there's a-
live or
yeah, live.
Adam.
Yeah. No,
Come
it's
on.
related. There's a part where like because these Mormon missionaries are going to Uganda for mission work, right? Which Mormon missionaries reaching out to Africa is a funny concept in and of itself.
Yeah.
But like the first scene when they're quote unquote in Africa, like they sing the opening to the Lion King very poorly. And it turns out that it's just Mrs. Black from the church singing to them in African so that they get used to it.
her name is Mrs. Black.
Yeah. Because it's
And they're
like
singing to them in
the Book of Mormon's
African?
written by the creators of South Park, so it's that kind of
Oh,
humor the
okay.
entire time.
Yeah,
It's
okay,
wonderful. I
okay.
love that movie. So it's just like "Harina, and I want a pizza," you know,
This is great. Yeah.
right? And it's
I'd go
like,
for
oh,
pizza
this is
right
wonderful.
now.
Okay, so that's enough stalling. All right, you want my trailer for this movie?
Yeah. Sorry, Curtis. Did you already give your?
Get the fuck, Adam.
Tom, what are you smoking in there?
Hey, Curtis. Did you already give
He
your
doesn't know
rating?
what movie he's reviewing. That's why he wants us to do trailers. All right.
Your eyes aren't even open right now. You're so stoned.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I didn't know you were there,
Are
Curtis.
you
Holy shit!
8-bit Cheech? My good.
Whoa!
My
Man, somebody
goodness.
open up a
8-bit
fucking
John.
fan. I'm like, my eyes are watered. Dude.
Oh my.
Moving on. Let's
All
go, Adam.
Coming this summer, an action adventure set in Africa
No way.
with actual African-Americans.
Oh my God! I've been waiting for this.
This time we put in effort. Don't worry, Hollywood.
No way.
You won't be embarrassed in 20 years.
Honey, we gotta go see this movie.
It is the Black Panther.
Let's go see Black Panther.
Not the one you're worried about.
Or was worried about.
Yeah.
40 years, 50 years ago. Oh boy, we're getting
Dude, you
in
sold the
over your
shit
heads.
out of that. I already have money for this movie. It's too bad I already fucking seen it and didn't like it.
Oh, Tom, what's your score? What best, worst, and score? Come on, Tom. Enough delaying. Let's go.
Okay. Best fucking scene in the casino. Buddy with a fucking cannon for a fucking arm.
Like, All these reviews are doing are in the first 10 minutes of the film of every
Hold
film.
on. I'm going to fucking elaborate later on. And then guess what? That happens. Forrest Whitaker. Boom. Fucking stabbed through the heart. Killed. I'm like, holy shit. One of the big names already just got killed.
Yeah, it's a long movie. They can put
Yeah.
more big names in there.
I'm like,
later.
how do they not keep that guy for longer in the movie, right? And I'm like, holy shit.
So that's the best part.
Sadly enough, the best part is the fighting over the water place where like everything like just falls down right away. It's like a drop. What do you want to call that? Like
The
the
waterfall.
fighting,
Waterfall.
the waterfall location fighting Street Fighter scene. Like
It is a
and-
Street Fighter scene.
yeah,
I give you
anything
that.
that
Yeah,
happens
it is
there,
a
I'm like,
Street
oh, I'm like,
Fighter.
shit, I gotta take a piss. And I see that scene, I'm like, oh, I'm pausing this. So I paused it, go take a piss. Come back, I'm pausing. I'm like, fuck, I'm so happy I paused it.
Cliche, the hero is beaten. Of course. It's only
Yeah.
1 hour in the movie.
Yeah,
But
Act
anyway,
one.
the other thing is the most negative thing, the most worst scene
Yeah, worst scene.
is what the whole movie's based on. Is that it's like somebody in quote unquote Detroit,
Oakland.
Oakland, thanks.
They're not the same.
Messed in with the wrong crowd, and then buddy's like, we can't have this person.
There has to be an American part. Like, what couldn't have been somewhere else in the world?
Anyway,
it has
I'm
to
try-
be in fucking States.
I know,
You know,
but I'm just
it's
saying.
just-
Okay, there's reasons for that.
Other than that, that would be the worst part of the movie. Not
Right.
worst, as in that's the worst scene, but that's kind of like a cop out. It's like
Yeah.
you're trying to just find a reason to make a storyline out of.
Yeah.
Which that is, it's like, hey, we kill this person. This person wants revenge. That's the storyline.
Yeah,
It's revenge.
let's make it in Charlottesville. You
It's
know,
revenge.
like, let's-
Yeah. Anyway, so this could surprise you, but I rate this thing fucking 6 out of 10. I liked it.
Really?
Some aspects of it was pretty cool.
Higher than Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I
Higher than
love
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
And I love Spider-Man. but Black Panther had way cooler fight scenes. Like I love the fight scenes in Black Panther.
Tom. Okay.
I guess so. I get your logic, I guess.
That's all it is.
Okay. Wow. I
Sorry,
don't
man.
know what to say. Cheapers, guys. For this movie, like I don't know. I like this movie. You know, it's like the effort they put in, the message that it's conveying, and again, messages for me are a huge part of movies, right? So I can look past the CGI, and
That's the main part of any art is the message
Right.
that you feel
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that you interpret
so
in the film.
so
or
I
music
felt
or
I
art.
felt this movie was really powerful and brave for doing the villain that they did, because the villain Killmonger is essentially Black Lives Matter personified, and he's the villain,
Yeah, and you could root for the villain.
right? But you weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
Like you could,
Oh.
and like there's reasons to, but also they were like, yeah, but he's wrong.
Yeah, and
right?
he's more jacked than the main character. so-
Yeah, you know, it's like it's like in the when the movie came out, it was almost like by not just immediately saying, "Oh yeah, Killmonger's right,"
Kill
That-
all the mongers!
that was a stance in and of itself.
I'm not
Whereas
dead
like
yet.
there, so it was. I don't know. I like that. I like the message of the movie. I think a lot of the acting. I like the acting in this movie actually. Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger.
You know what?
The Black Panther does a great job.
Can you sell me on some acting? But maybe I'm just I don't remember it correctly.
So there's a scene where Black Panther goes and he visits his father in the spirit realm, and he's talking about like like he had just found out that like his father had murdered his uncle in Oakland and left the orphan child Killmonger in Oakland to like live on his own. And it's like, how did you? And he's talking to his ghost dad at this point. And he's like, you abandoned your own nephew as well as all of our other people. And he was so Black Panther was basically making Killmonger's argument to the ghost dad. And he gave a powerful performance. He's like, how do you call yourself a leader when you abandon your people?
Okay.
And it's like, that's a good message,
Yeah.
you know?
and it was well delivered like they had there was a lot of emotion in that scene, right? And like the father-son dynamic was really good. The dynamic between feuding cousins, I think, is really good. You want to talk bad acting in this movie?
Before we get into bad acting, can I add one more character that all three of us forgot about?
Sure.
The guy who played Baggins in The Hobbit.
We talked about the CIA agent.
Martin Freeman.
Yeah, Martin Freeman. We talked about him.
Okay, Tom. Back to you, Adam.
Back to Adam.
Here's another way. Here's another time that they
Thanks, Curtis.
Here's another time that they stepped around an issue from the comic books, because when the comic books came out in the 70s, they weren't as sensitive as the movie. So that like the guy that lives on the mountain surrounded by snow, and he's like,
who's that guy anyways?
in the comic book, his name is Manape.
Or Curtis.
Oh man.
Yeah. You want to know why they didn't use his comic book name in the movie?
I don't know why.
Yeah. Not exactly. Yeah, he had the powers of an ape. Nope,
Wow.
we're not going to go there. It's like, thank you for sidestepping that one, movie.
The power of a Homo erectus.
Yeah. So it's like, oh man. And yeah, like that guy and that part of the movie where they're like, oh, and then they're like, oh, I refuse to side with you, and then he comes in at the end. That was stupid. It's like, just save it. Just
Cliche again.
Yeah, cliche. It's like
That's the cavalry.
Yeah, that's the cavalry. We knew it was coming. It wasn't good. The CGI fight between two identical
Martin Freeman in a spaceship fighting around.
Yeah.
Oh, I know how to use
and
fighter jet.
A lot of the CGI fighting in this movie, like when they've got like the vibranium cloaks that give them the shields. It reminded me of
That was pretty cool.
It reminded me of Phantom Menace when like the robots have like those
I love
shields
that. Oh,
that
man.
the Jar Jar Binks
I mean-
people
Whoa,
are throwing
come on,
water balloons.
guys.
I love that when I was 12.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's not fucking compare Star
Right?
Wars.
So
to
I'm
this,
like,
please.
that was
Step
dumb.
back.
That was
You
dumb.
can tell me that, Curtis.
But the biggest dumb part was when it was Black Panther versus Killmonger, and they're both in their suits that look exactly the same, except
that was stupid.
one's got purple highlights and one's
one's
got
yellow.
gold highlights, and that's
Yeah,
how you're
gold,
supposed
yellow.
to tell them apart. And it's like the CGI kind of got a little sloppy and it got blurry, and it's like, who's fighting whom?
It was like Alien
Like,
versus Predator and
yeah,
Alien
it
versus
just-
Predator Requiem.
It was just dumb in that part. But I'm like, so the action scenes lose points for me. There's a couple plot lines that lose points for me, but I like the movie. For me, this is 7 out of 10. Like, it's not as good as Spider-Man. I put it about on the same level as Thor Ragnarok.
What?
Did you laugh at all?
No.
I did a couple times through the sister brother.
Yeah, but
storyline.
I actually don't like most movie. I very rarely like comedies.
Okay, so your preference is different than mine. And
Yeah.
Thomas's.
Like I very rarely like I'm
I love
I'm
laughing
a guy
once
that
in a
likes
while.
that watches a comedy once.
Yeah.
You
right?
ever Police Academy or something? Lethal Weapon.
It
Lethal Weapon's
really-
a comedy.
Yeah, like the Lethal Weapon and the Rush Hour movies. I'll watch that over and over again. But it has to be like really good for me to watch a comedy a second
What about
time.
Die Hard? Die Hard's a comedy. too.
Die Hard is what? Tom, just go back to your
Don't
smoke.
tell me right
Anyways.
now. Look in my eyes and tell me you didn't laugh at any point watching a Die Hard movie.
Okay, I only watched the first 3.
All right.
After that, I stopped because they get terrible.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Anyway, so that's my I give this movie a 7. I rather like it. Again, it's not a movie that I think is perfect. It's not as good. Like I've given much higher reviews in our other episodes. And honestly, like this half of Phase 3, none of us were great for. Like we're looking in the 50% range for most of us. So.
Do you think it was worth all the hype? The movie was worth all the hype, like. And
like Black
everything?
Panther?
Yeah.
Like this particular movie?
Yes.
I don't think it was Best Picture nomination worthy.
Yeah. No.
That was
yeah.
politics.
That was
That was
politics.
politics.
That was white people thinking, yeah, we like that stuff. Yeah.
Sure, yeah, and that's like, hey, if we nominate Get Out, then we don't have to nominate anything else for the next 50 years, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
cool.
Fuck
And I'm
those
like,
guys.
you know what? I have not cared about nominations for the Oscars or Emmys or anything like that.
Me neither. For years.
Basically since when the Dark Knight won for Heath Ledger, was the last time I cared about a movie, but I also was aware that they wouldn't have given it to him had he not died.
You knew that for sure.
What a bunch
I
of sick
feel
fucks.
that way. Like that's how
I
I
understand why it's easy to feel that way,
Let's
but
go burn
yeah,
some
but
buildings.
I feel that way, and it's like because I feel like there's been better performances in comic book movies since
Yeah.
then, and better movies that didn't get nominated.
yeah, but you have to ask for that year
yeah,
when Heath Ledger was
yeah,
nominated.
and it's
for
like
that year.
he gave an amazing performance. Don't get me wrong; I think he deserved the medal,
yeah,
or trophy or award or whatever
Same
it is.
thing.
But I don't feel he would have got it had he not passed away. That's my own
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah, everyone should look up like best actor for that movie and kind of make their own opinions.
Yeah,
on that.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm curious myself, actually.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like okay, so yeah, that's it. Quick wrap up like that we did last
Did you
time.
give us your score?
Yeah, 7 out of 10.
And what did you say, Curtis?
3. And you gave a 6.
Yeah. It was still a good movie.
Yeah. Okay, so quick wrap up, like we did last time. Trying to talk into the microphone. How do we do this? Do we do this by Rotten Tomato score, lowest to highest, and then talk box office, or do
Well, you know, I thought maybe we could bring back something we did in the very first Marvel movie, and that's something up
in
to you
episode
guys. No, for this one right here, I thought maybe we
Oh.
could all agree on a, depending on everybody's opinion, what is considered a Marvel movie or not, and just do a quick fucking review on it.
Oh, just a bonus episode.
Yeah, just like a quick
Oh.
bonus one movie. We've all seen them before.
All right.
Like Deadpool or something.
So that's a good thing to bring up. So Deadpool, what do you think, Adam? Is there something else you want to bring up?
You know what?
How about Blade? Isn't Blade Marvel?
Ooh, Blade is Marvel.
I've
It-
seen all of them. I
would-
love Blade.
I would go. Okay, if we're gonna do that, one extra movie that's from the Marvel universe.
we got 10 minutes to burn.
No, we don't. Logan.
So it's the newest Wolverine movie.
Yeah.
Yes. So that is now in the Marvel universe.
Well,
That's part of the MCU.
it's not MCU, but yeah, we can talk about it. I
As
love
far
that
as
movie.
ownership rights, I don't understand.
Yeah, they now own Fox, so Disney now owns that movie.
Okay, so we're legally
We're legally allowed to talk whatever we want. Thank you.
we
Make
have,
it sound really weird.
liberal
Curtis.
legal rights to speak about another film, even though
Wow.
we don't represent any of these companies.
Can I start off this time? Because you guys both started off the last ones.
Sure.
So
And on with it.
So Logan was awesome. I love everything that happened in the forest where it's like Jeep chasing after another Jeep.
You mean the end battle?
Well,
in the
it kinda
forest?
happened. It happened a couple times.
I was surprised by how little. Nothing happened.
Yeah, a lot of things happened.
No.
There's not as much action in this movie as you'd expect.
Well, no. Action aside, progression of story. They went to one place and they went to a second place.
What
Yeah,
about
that's it.
meeting up with Professor X though? Right?
In the beginning,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was fucking dark. I'm like, yes, it's bloody, it's dark, and it's for sure. If I had kids, I wouldn't show them that movie. That means it's a
Right
good
on.
movie.
Yeah. Okay, well, and I also dug like they're trying to show like new gen or like here's a droid and it's going over and it's looking at everybody and you better fucking run because you got a droid on you and you can't sit
Drone?
still. A drone, sorry, not a droid. Thank you.
Well, could you expand on that? I don't remember.
Well, at any given point, you get like a top-down view of all the action happening in the movie. Like it's
A drone is being used to film.
yeah.
Okay.
Like you always get this top-down view. So you see this big massive trees, and then you see somebody running, and then they're gone, and then it's an opening, and you see them running, and then it's big trees again. It's like, why bother? Just give us the old school '80s action shots. We're fine with that. But
It's a new perspective.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
utilizing
Yeah.
some new technology to get a new view.
and then I
on
love
things.
the fucking main bad guy of this movie. Fuck, I'm trying to remember his name now.
The one with the metallic hand? The robo hand? Or are you talking the doctor that was engineering the corn that made no more mutants?
Fuck, I have to see a picture now. but anyway,
The guy that fought or the guy that was a scientist?
The guy that fought.
Okay, so that's the guy with the metal hand.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. But
I can't remember his name either, but it was cool.
Yeah.
I thought like the whole kid factor where he's trying to show him like you're all special and you all have these awesome talents. And I loved the part where he ended up going to a somebody's house or something, and then another truck came up and there's a big shooting fest that happened.
That was a little cliche, but it was good. You know,
I thought
like,
that scene was super badass.
The farmers that were like, "Wow, howdy, neighbor. Why don't what?"
And then boom, boom,
you're
boom.
stranded and you're covered in somebody else's blood. Well, I don't mind. Come on in my house. Have a meal. I'm just gonna go sleep in this easily murderable room. Like,
Well, it's predictable, yes.
yeah,
But it's not cliche for the franchise.
yeah, that's true. Not cliche for the
Okay.
franchise. But,
Obviously, you're like, yeah, these fucking people are gonna get fucking murdered.
yeah.
But like, this doesn't happen in Marvel. Not what
Yeah.
you've seen.
Yeah, like even with the Fox X-Men movies, they had yet to like Deadpool was R. This is the second R-rated movie that they've done.
It's rated R.
It's rated R, yeah. And X-23, the girl, the clone of Wolverine, she is just fantastic. And apparently the other actress that was in the short running to play her was 11 from Stranger Things. And when she didn't get the role, I was like, "Oh, I'm so upset because I love Stranger
She's
Things."
so young for the Logan.
Yeah. Like the little girl that's got the claws and like doesn't
One
speak.
claw,
For,
two claws.
2 claws and one in her foot.
Fuck
Yeah.
that claw. That's not
Yeah.
a claw.
But
That's a bad toenail.
So yeah.
Oh, okay. So she played like a 15-year-old
Yeah, like
girl
she's
who would have been 11 from Stranger Things, and that age I forgot about that character.
Yeah.
because she's forgettable.
I love Stranger Things, so I was like,
No.
this is-
I mean the character that was casted in
X-23.
Logan.
Oh, okay.
Called X-23.
Yeah.
Obviously, the character in Stranger Things is memorable. I
Yeah,
like it
yeah.
a lot. I
So
love
when
it.
she
Yeah.
didn't get that role, I was kind of like a little upset. But then, like the woman that got it, or girl that got it, ended up getting it, and I think she did a good job.
Yeah, it's good.
She did a great job. Like, and it's true to the comics because it's like this clone that's not quite a clone because obviously she's female, and she is raised to just be an assassin. So her language skills are nothing because you don't need to speak to kill somebody. So why teach her to speak? So
She's more about receiving orders.
Yeah.
So she comprehends well.
Yeah, and it's just like it's such a good movie. There's a lot, and again, like I love messages in movies, and there's a lot being said in this movie. Though I don't know how much can be extrapolated into real world. It's just like a nice message of like, it's not what you have done, it's what you end up doing. Like, because Logan did a lot of terrible things through his life when he was a member of X-Force. He did a lot of terrible things, and he feels guilt for it and so on and so forth. But his final act is to save somebody, and then that's enough, right? And it's like, that's kind of a cool message, right? That it's like, yeah, you may have been shit before, but if you try, you can go out on top. And I like that movie. I really like it.
Yeah,
It's,
the motive is about it doesn't matter who we were in the past.
Yeah.
because we're not that person in the past.
exactly. Yeah, there's no reason. Just like if you feel guilt, just be a better person, and it will. I don't know. Maybe it's like the semi-Catholic kind of worldview that I have, where it's like, look,
Yeah,
you can be a better person than you used to be. You will be absolved of your sins.
I see.
Yeah, I like it. I like Walt Logan. It's a great movie.
I also like that he was like breaking down.
Yeah,
He's not all
arthritis, and he
He's not
doesn't heal
regenerating
well.
in the way. Yeah, he's not regenerating.
Do you
regenerating
remember
the same
if
way.
he survived or did not at the end?
He died.
He fucking died, man.
Yeah, he did.
Can you both look at me and tell me that you're 100% certain
I'm sorry,
dead.
Tom,
that
but
he's dead?
He's dead.
Wolverine died in that
Yeah,
movie.
he's
We
dead.
don't know that 100%.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, he's dead.
He's dead.
I'm pretty sure Morpheus died, or whoever his name is. Sorry. Thank you, phone. Tell me everything. Patrick Stewart.
Oh, Professor Xavier.
Who's Morpheus again?
Morpheus.
Morpheus is another actor.
Yeah. Isn't Morpheus
from
the
Matrix.
vampire from Spider-Man?
And also The Matrix.
There you go.
No vampires though, but
Yeah,
movies.
yeah. Okay. Anyways,
Sorry, everybody.
Logan. Okay. Do we want to talk about Rotten Tomatoes scores and box office? Did we want to do that?
Let's knock that off right now. Let's do a couple guesses.
Cool.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna go from Rotten Tomato score worst to best of these 6 movies, and see where we lined them up.
So can you follow up the score with the box office so that way we're presenting them as a package?
So Black Panther got a Rotten Tomato score of 79%. We as a group gave it 53%. It had a box office of $1.3 billion.
Holy fuck.
It was the highest grossing of these 6 movies.
How much did it cost to make the movie?
$200 million. It made.
Holy shit!
It had a 6.5 times return on investment.
Holy
Which is probably the biggest.
god
Marvel movie yet.
damn!
Yeah,
That's
it was the biggest of this phase.
Wow.
Like these 6 movies.
Okay, yeah, next.
Next one up. All right, so that was 79%, and that was last place. The second lowest of these movies was Doctor Strange
What?
at 86%.
Which is fucking awesome.
86%, such a high score.
Okay,
That's second lowest.
was 86% was second lowest. We as a group gave it 57. It had a budget of 165 million, and it made 670, or approximately 400% return on investment.
Damn, we clearly are not good fucking reviewers.
We have
man.
a 3-way tie for the next one, so I'm going to use box office as how to break
Oh
this.
my god.
Okay.
Okay.
So the next movie in 4th place was Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2. 87% with an $860 million box office.
Wow.
Cost $200 million to make, approximately 4 times ROI.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Okay. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Correction. Thor Ragnarok was in 4th because it had a lower box office.
But that was a really good movie.
Okay, it depends on how we want to look at this, right? Because it had a better ROI, but it also had a lower box office. So Thor Ragnarok, we'll call this 3rd place. 3rd place, 87%, same as Guardians of the Galaxy. It had $854 million box office, which is lower than Guardians of the Galaxy, but it costs less to make. So it had a 500% return on investment.
Oh, okay.
Spider-Man Homecoming came in second.
What?
Came in second. 87%
Holy
Rotten
shit.
Tomato score. It cost $170 million to make,
What did we give it?
and we gave it a 67.
Oh
Like,
my god.
All the actors were under
We're
18.
awful.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
so awful.
$170 to make, $880 million box office.
Holy
The
shit.
highest movie was Captain America 3.
Are you kidding? Civil War? Come
It had
on!
an 89% Rotten Tomato score.
Oh, that's the last one I
We
wanted
gave
to
it a
see.
43.
Are you fucking serious?
We gave it a 43, and I'm the only person to give it a positive score. I gave it a 6.
Fuck.
So 43%. It made $1.1 billion at
Holy
the box
shit.
office.
I don't
That's as much
understand.
as what's that movie that made 1.4 billion last episode? That was Iron Man 3 or some dumb shit.
Yeah.
Why do people like that?
Why? I don't understand.
People, it doesn't necessarily mean they like it. The box office means they went and saw it.
So the advertising was there.
The advertising's there. Right?
'Cause there's so many characters.
Also, all the name recognition. You've got
The
Robert
name
Downey.
recognition,
You've got
yeah.
Chris Evans or Discount Bieber, however you want to refer to him.
Yeah, fuck Bieber.
But
No,
and
we
I'm
said
like,
discount fucking Brad Pitt.
yeah. So it's like, that's insane. So they still had of this, and like I only totaled up my review scores. I gave this entire 6 movies a 55% average.
That's really low.
That's
really
low.
low. Dude.
That's low, and 2 of the 6 cleared $1 billion.
Okay, so
That's insane.
so Curtis, did he give your 2 cents on this movie? Other than the stupid shit he already talked about.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our episode.
No, it's not.
Tom's gonna do the rest solo.
Okay, thank you for tuning in to the great Canadian Hosers. And
I feel like
Adam.
you do a lot better than that, Curtis.
See you next time, true believers.
No,
Yeah?
no, we're not in that.
You want me to give her or what?
You give me the best goddamn falsetto.
You mean
hosers
last episode wasn't good enough for you?
I want you to surpass that, Curtis. Give me a good one.
Thank you for listening to the great Canadian Hosers.
See you next time, true believers.
Go!